But, Mr. Lamar, you use your tongue prettier than a $20 whore.
Nerdrotic.com.
Really loud. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen of both genders, to the Nerdrotic Nooner. Because everybody loves a nooner, especially when it's on hump day. Hey. Hi, I'm representing ISOM because it's still killing it. Hail Eric July. Representing my not so good baseball team right now, but hey, it's never over till it's over, okay? It's never over till it's over. We have a lot to talk about. Some big breaking news happened, and I'm sure it had nothing to do with The Flash completely failing at the box office. Superman has been cast, ladies and gentlemen, and it looks like the Film Actors Guild is going to go on strike. I really wanted to put that on my title today, but I decided against it. Hollywood is canceling San Diego Comic-Con, and with the Superman casting, I think we got an answer to if Warner Brothers is going to be there or not. And there is a conversation being had right now about superhero fatigue, which we will discuss. And Indiana Jones, probably going to flop. We'll find out. And somebody on this panel has seen Mission Impossible 7. That's right. And it's Chris Gore. Hail, Chris Gore.
Hey, thanks, Gary. Yep, I saw Mission Impossible last night, and I am pleased to report I think it's going to be huge. Tom Cruise is going to save the box office again. And in spite of its 2-hour and 43-minute running time, which I think it's a little long. I think that's people complaining about almost every movie being too long. The action sequences just one-up each other. And I'm pleased to report also that what we saw in the trailer, that epic scene, you'll see how it fits into the story. And that's not even the biggest action sequence in the film.
That's awesome.
I can't wait to tell you more about it.
I can't wait to hear it. I see you flexed on me last night and said, "Guess where I am?" I'm like, son of a bitch, freaking shill.
Yeah. What can I say?
Yeah, you and I are going to be going to Comic-Con in about 3 weeks, so we'll talk about that as well.
Yeah.
But we also have
People.
I need to buy myself some time there. X-ray. Good.
Hello, Gary. You know how you're representing ISOM? I feel like I'm representing thoughts today.
That's good. We need some thought representation.
Thought representation for sure. But I really enjoyed this last day's worth of posts under my Twitter post showing your first profile picture on Facebook ever. Gary's, yours is, everyone looks young, like Frank.
Well,
I'm calling you Frank now. Oh gosh.
Frank Gore looks young. Yeah, we all look young because it was 2007 X-Ray Girl, so we were younger.
Like half my life.
You
ago.
look like a little kid. It's very cute.
I am a kid. People don't think it's me, but it is. I swear it.
How old were you in 2007? Can you say?
Oh, in that picture, I was actually 16.
You were barely old enough to be on Facebook.
Yep. I don't know why they let kids go on there.
I wouldn't let my kid on Facebook at that age.
Though, right?
God, looks like you're 18 now, right? I hope so. But
Hey, get your peg leg out of here. Get on your own show.
Someone was like, C plus hasn't been made in like 20 years. I'm like, that's actually true. I haven't had a C plus in so long. Cream soda all the way. But it was fun seeing everyone's pictures. So thank you for everyone who shared.
It was.
Um,
It was. I couldn't believe I'm like, I gotta go to Facebook to find
you
it.
look like a baby.
I was old then. Somebody even pointed that out. I was I was like 37 when that picture got taken. So
And Dan Vask.
Chris,
He's almost too pretty.
yeah, popular in prison. Chris looks kind of the same. But
The funny thing is, you can't tell. I had silver hair back then, but
yeah, but it's a
sometimes-
full head of silver hair. So fuck you. And yeah.
You didn't dye it, did you?
No. I actually, you know what? I dyed it once when I was in my 30s to try it. I was like, I'll just. I looked so dumb. It looked like in Photoshop when you click the fill button and everything looks the same color. And I looked like an idiot. And I can always spot when men color their hair. Women do it right. Women's hair and men's hair are different. But I can always spot a bad dye job on a man. And I vowed I would never do it again. I looked like an idiot. I just embraced it. And depending on the lighting, my hair could look darker or sort of dirty blonde or just white. It just depends. It's weird. I'll take it though.
If you if you like put some blonde in it, I think it'd be fine. But yeah, when you do the Billy Mays stuff, it just don't look good, dudes. No. It just go with it. My beard's getting grayer. I'm rolling with it. I can call myself a gray beard soon. I'm very excited about it. Just embrace that shit. Hello, chat. Greetings, chat. If you are one of those listeners on Spotify or iTunes or any of the podcast places, I'm talking to a chat. You can join this show Wednesday, 12 p.m. Pacific, live and participate in the chat. They're really sexy and fun, aren't you, chat? You sexy people, you. Yeah, I'm kissing their ass a little bit, as I should. As I should. What do we want to go over? I guess we'll go over Superman first, because, like, honestly, I think it's kind of, the news isn't that big of a deal. I think the biggest takeaway. What a good man right there. What a good man.
Brought me my energy drink.
Brought your energy drink. We love Mark the Cyborg. Can't wait to talk to him about the Venture Brothers. I'm so excited. That's next month. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to be in San Diego when that premieres. I'll find a way to make that stream. It's going to happen. So real quick, Mark will be joining me. Comics will be joining me. Script Doctor will be joining me, and we're going to all talk about the Venture Brothers movie when it comes out. But where was I? Oh, Superman. The Superman casting was, I thought it was fine. The biggest surprise, white dude. Think so. The second biggest surprise, which I didn't bring up in my video, American. He's American. They cast an American white dude. Don't know if he's straight. Not that it really matters, to be honest with you, because it don't. But they cast an American white dude to play Superman. It's kind of a shock. They were big on, like, a British guy played Batman before Ben Affleck, of course, with Christian Bale. British guys playing Spider-Man right now, Tom Holland and Henry Cavill, who I think would have still been a great Superman. British guy. Now, that's going to be the biggest problem for our pal David Cornswet. I'm not going to call him Cornswet. I think it's Cornswet. Cornswet? We'll just say Dave. Is that better? We'll call him Dave. It's not like somebody, it's not like Henry Cavill said, Ryan mentioned this last night, and he's completely right. It's not like he backed away and said, hey, I'm done playing the character. I wish the next guy luck. No, he still wanted to play the character. So that shadow is going to be cast over what clearly is just a younger Henry Cavill. But the biggest problem I see, and I got to see modern pictures, like these pictures might not represent. We're just going off pictures. That's all I can do. It looks like Superboy right now. That could change. Some steroids, some creatine, whatever you guys do to get the big muscles. Maybe Cecil should train him. But yeah, he needs to bulk up a little bit. As far as Rachel Brosnahan as Lois, looks good. Got no problem with that. She looks like Lois Lane. So
and I'm happy to report, Gary, that Rachel Brosnahan, based on her past work, has appeared nude in scenes, and that means that all of us right now can look at Lois Lane's tits.
So
This exists.
I did
It's
not
on the internet.
know today we'd be joined by Mr. Skin. Do you remember Mr. Skin?
I know Mr. Skin.
You do. Of course you know Mr. Skin. Of course you do.
I do. I know him. He's a scholar of nudity in
Of
films,
teats.
and so
He is. He absolutely is. He should be called
Yeah.
Professor Skin, in my opinion, but there we go.
there you are. Well, if you are curious, it's out there. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. But
Sure.
apparently there were three dudes up for the role for Superman. They all came in costume. This guy won out. I wish him all the luck in the world. I wish James Gunn all the luck in the world. I think I am leaning heavily towards the DCU being DOA until I'm proven wrong. And I think there's even a possibility we could get a good movie. Like we walk out of this going, damn, that was good. Just go back to The Batman. The Batman came out. A lot of people liked it. I thought it was so-so because it had an awful third act. Love the opening, man. If the entire movie was as good as the opening, it would be 10 out of 10 best Batman movie ever made. Period. But that's what we get with Batman. We get pieces. We don't get the whole thing ever. But it did fairly well, $710 million worldwide. But that's a Batman movie, and you relaunch Batman, and it just kind of underwhelmed. They wanted $1 billion. They don't make these. They don't pay 150, 180 million, 250 million, $300 million for movies to eke out a $5 profit. They want to make $1 billion. And when you're spending, I'm going to guess the budget on Superman Legacy is going to be $250. $250. So they need to make $800-900 million just to break even. But that's not even getting, you need profit. So I don't know. I don't know. These ballooning budgets and releasing a bunch of movies that fucking suck and then taking a year off and coming back. I just don't know if that's going to help. It just doesn't seem like DC's, really captured the imagination of the general public. They've definitely captured the imagination of DC fans who are far more passionate than Marvel fans. But the general public is what they're trying to get. And remember, this is a studio, Chris, that was really questioning if they needed a Superman and whether they could make one for a long time, up until very recently, till James Gunn came around. Otherwise, they would have put Henry Cavill in every one of their damn movies. Yeah. I don't know. What's your angle on this?
Well, a couple things. One, he's a younger Henry Cavill.
Yes.
I mean, if that's what they were looking for, and it's interesting. Someone posted a photo of all the Clark Kents.
Mm-hmm.
They do have a similar look. So
they do.
He's probably casting younger because he realizes this may go on a decade. So he's looking toward the future. And clearly he needs to bulk up. I'm sure that'll happen. I'm not really concerned with that. They'll put him on that Marvel diet of testosterone and, a ketogenic diet or whatnot. Have you seen, there's actually a funny video of Chris Pratt. Have you seen the series of videos he did called What's My Snack?
Yeah, I've seen some of them, yes.
Yeah, which I think is, it's just interesting that it's interesting. It seems like everyone gets that Marvel body, including Kumail Nanjiani, who never took his shirt off in Eternals. So,
right. Well, because it's a lot easier nowadays.
I guess.
Well, you can take a shot, right? There's a shot out there that can just burn your fat. I'm sure the shot's like freaking $5,000-$10,000, but yeah, there's a shot out there, and then it's pretty easy to bulk up muscles.
But I don't think it was, it may not have been personal with Henry Cavill. It may just been, look, we want to cast younger and we kind of want to wipe the slate clean. But announcing all these things before just sort of has killed the Flash. Does anyone care about Blue Beetle? And Aquaman 2 is coming out with Amber Heard. I think those may fail even worse than the Flash did.
Oh, I think Aquaman 2 will be the history's first box office plop. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
There
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. I think they just wanted it. I doubt it was personal with Henry Cavill. I agree with you there, but it looked personal, and this is about optics. It looked very personal. So they've got James Gunn has just got a huge uphill battle here.
And superhero fatigue, I know people want to dismiss that term. You know, two things can be true at once. People can have superhero fatigue. I was watching the Geeks and Gamers live stream this morning, and Jay Drunk 3PO, who on occasion he'll kind of he's a good measure of like the everyman. What does he think? And he's just like, he doesn't care about superhero stuff. It just, there is sort of and I felt this way watching Shazam 2, which was very forgettable. Was it just, that you remember when they would take the time to kind of tell you what the rules were and sort of like how much power a hero has? Now they just throw them in as if we're, supposed to assume we know everything, and just nothing is impressive. We have seen characters fly before. Yes, we have seen characters do. I mean, there has become like a, I don't know if a fatigue, I think, is the right word, but at the same time, a good movie could change that. But I don't know. And as you were saying, you could put out a really good Superman movie and maybe people just don't care. I felt that way when Batman Begins came out. I thought, God, it's really soon for they're rebooting Batman again. And then Batman Begins I thought was great. And it really, the more I watched that film, it really grew on me. And I really love that. The first Nolan Batman movie with Christian Bale was great.
I wasn't super hot on it at first, and it grew on me later on. But like it did well, but it didn't do gangbusters. Dark Knight is what did gangbusters and kind of brought everything back. 'Cause it goes through peaks and valleys, superheroes. And this isn't the first time we've had this conversation. It's probably the fifth time we've had the superhero fatigue conversation. But what's really different this time is you have a combination of factors that ultimately put simply, we're getting more bad than good. We get oversaturation, and no, this could have all been avoided by recasting Captain America, recasting Iron Man, because Marvel and DC need their core characters, and then introducing more interesting characters than, say, on the Marvel side, America Chavez, Echo, Ironheart. I could go on. Captain Marvel, trying to push Captain Marvel, who's patient zero for all this. And
right.
Captain Marvel came out, made $1 billion, and they just didn't. They like, well, shit, we don't even need to try. And they started believing their own bullshit. That's what happened. Hollywood, Kevin Feige, all of them started believing their own bullshit, and they stopped trying. So there's your fatigue, is being lazy and not trying. James Gunn even brought that up. So, it's absolutely real. It's palpable. You can feel it. And when you have the list of movies that I put in my video that are coming out just this year, we have Blue Beetle, then we have Kraven the Hunter, then we have the Marvels, and then Aquaman 2. Those are your superhero movies. You don't think that's going to do damage to the overall superhero brand, the DC brand, the Marvel brand? It absolutely does. And you know what we haven't seen movies on? The X-Men, Doctor Doom, Fantastic Four.
Right.
Like, if Kevin Feige had a fucking brain, those would be the three things he fast-tracked automatically. Now, I heard a rumor that there was some contractual obligations with the previous X-Men cast that they would have to honor if something was made before a certain date, I think 2025. Don't know if that's true at all. Might be an explanation, because there really is no explanation why you're not casting the Fantastic Four and X-Men right fucking now. And instead we're like, let's push ahead with this Echo series and Ironheart and Agatha Harkness. That's insane. It's absolutely insane. So yes, that creates fatigue. Fatigue does not mean death. There will always be a superhero movie, and one might do well. But, occasionally we get a good Western movie. Does that bring the Westerns back? No. The hottest TV shows right now are technically, kind of neo-Westerns with, 1883, 1923, and Yellowstone, which is ending. will that create a new trend? I don't know. There's been very good Western shows and movies in the past. They hasn't brought it back. It doesn't mean it's absolutely dead. It just means it's not the driving force behind the box office. And I hearken back. I tried to find his full speech and nobody recorded it, which sucks. Or they didn't put it up on YouTube. Bruce Campbell did a Q&A prior to Evil Dead 2, an Evil Dead 2 screening at the Castro Theater in San Francisco in January of 2019. I was there. It was fucking awesome. And somebody asked him, like, would you ever take aside from a cameo, would you take a full role in a superhero movie? And he said, hell no. He said, hell no. And he said, on top of that, once this superhero thing is over, producers cannot wait to get away from it because it's so damn expensive. They cannot wait to get, and they will drop it like a bad habit once it stops making them money. And we are in that phase. So, and I believed him. I absolutely believe him. And they don't care. It's so obvious that they just don't give a shit anymore. And it's hard to argue that they ever did, but I don't think the MCU would have succeeded if people were there who didn't care, you know, and were doing a good job. But that's a long time ago now. That's a long time. We have 2 movies doing really well at the box office right now, but we only have one superhero movie that made $1 billion since Endgame. Endgame came out in 2019, 18, 19, 18.
2019. No, yeah, 2019.
It's been a few years.
Yeah.
$1 billion movie. And as I've said before, the investors do not see the difference between Endgame and Captain Marvel and Ant-Man. They're like, it's a Marvel movie. What's my bottom line? That's all they care about. So the fatigue is with Hollywood. Okay, yeah. That's where the fatigue is. They don't really care. But, you know, like I said, I just said on Twitter, there's the argument out there, well, if we got good movies, we wouldn't be talking about it. And you're right. And if my aunt had nuts, she'd be my uncle. You know, like, but we aren't getting good movies, and we are talking about it. So I think it's something that's real. On top of all of that, we have the oversaturation, which is just ridiculous. And it's if it was, you know, oversaturation is bad when things are just mediocre. We're not talking about mediocre oversaturation. We're talking about utter shit. I just watched half an episode of Secret Invasion. Episode 2. I watched the scene you discussed with me the other day where Rhodey and Nick Fury talk about mediocre white men. And I almost threw something at the screen. But my favorite part, Chris, because I was a little worried that Nick Fury wasn't going to get chastised by a woman this episode, but he does. He does. I was like, yeah. And I haven't even finished the episode. It might happen some more. I don't know. I did see how it ends. And I'm like, really? That's your big ending? So basically, the first 2 episodes are a lot of sitting down and talking. That's it. Hey, they're an hour long, but you only have 4 episodes left.
Exactly. But, did you get to the part where he talks about sitting in the colored car?
Yes.
And eating chicken? It was just so... It just felt weird. I'm watching this going, I don't remember race being brought up so often in Marvel movies, almost never. And it really stands out. And did you see the ratings as compared to other shows? Under 1 million people. By the way, 1 million people would watch an episode of Attack of the Show back in the day.
Dude, it's 1 million people on Samba TV, to be fair, over 5 days.
Right.
So it's not 1 million people in a day. So we're talking 200,000 a day. Drinker gets that in 2 hours sometimes.
You get that.
I'll get that in sometimes 6, sometimes 10. Yeah, I'll get that. I'll get 200,000. That's. But these things cost a lot of money. I'm not sure how much this one cost, but these things cost a lot of money. What are they saying? Andor cost $250 million, $250 million for Andor. Oh,
insane!
God. Oh, so yeah. Hollywood is overspent. They're like somebody who just went nuts on their credit card, right? And now they're looking to file Chapter 11, and they can do that through the strike. The Film Actors Guild is talking. I thought they were making progress. It sounded like that. Like the lead negotiator was like, "We're totally making progress," and then they signed this letter today. Meryl Streep, remember, she said Harvey Weinstein is God. Signed it. I think Jennifer Lawrence signed it. And if Jennifer Lawrence goes on strike, that's pretty much Hollywood going on strike because she's everything, right? So it sounds like they want to strike. It kind of sounds like they're like, no, we've got our resolve. And the negotiator's like, no, we're good. We're actually making progress. And they're like, no, we want to strike. It's like, okay. I mean, I don't think it matters, right? If the writers aren't working, I don't think the actors can work.
Correct.
So they might as well strike. Did you hear? I didn't know this. I guess this got reported about a month ago. So they're filming Deadpool 3 right now. Did you know that?
And I heard that Ryan Reynolds cannot improvise lines.
He cannot improvise lines.
Ugh.
That is terrible because most of Deadpool, the first one especially, was improv. So, and did you know this movie's supposed to come out in under a year?
Yeah.
And they're filming it right now?
That's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen, dude.
No,
It's
not
not.
at all.
It's not going to happen. There's no way. Unless the CGI is going to be. And it's going to be a Disney rated R movie. I think Hugh should have stayed gone. We'll find out, though. We'll find out. So yeah, I think the superhero fatigue argument is one to be had. I'm not like completely there yet, but I mean, I guess we'll know when Superman comes out. I think I don't know what's your take on Joker 2, because that's coming out next year.
I think it's going to be huge, and because the first one was a surprise. I think that you've got Harley Quinn by Lady Gaga. I think is inspired casting. Todd Phillips is an indie film guy.
Yes, he is.
He is like down to the roots indie film guy. You look at like the first Hangover movie's the best. I mean, the other two, whatever. But this is a guy that he also did a movie called Road Trip, which was also very good. But he did
Old School too. He did Old School. Old School.
He did Old School.
Yeah.
Like he also is totally based, doesn't give a fuck.
Yep.
When you see him in interviews about Joker, he's like, yeah, I'd love to make a comedy. Now you can't make it in this environment.
Yeah, he said that right when the Chappelle stuff was going on, like late 2019. I remember that. I was like, I always knew I liked him for a reason.
And and just full disclosure, I know him. I knew him. I distributed his first movie, which was a documentary about G.G. Allen.
G.G. Allen, yes. That's legendary. That's a legendary doc, by the way.
Yeah, hated G.G. Allen and the Murder Junkies. Film Threat back in the 90s had a VHS. We distributed like 30 or 40 movies on VHS because we had a whole system.
Yeah,
right?
guys.
And I remember,
guys who think they're shit posters and shit talkers and trolls have fucking nothing on G.G. Allen. Okay,
right?
G.G. Allen's like the fucking OG of shit poster. Like he was fucking crazy. Like dude was, and he's dead. So.
That's an understatement, but like so Todd gave us the movie and we're working on it. I remember sitting there with my buddy Dave Williams and we're working on the VHS sleeve and like, oh, we should put a quote here or this. And Todd Phillips calls us and says, hey, G.G. Allen is dead. Can I borrow some equipment to go film the funeral?
Yes.
Change the documentary.
Dude, the funeral shots.
It was crazy. So we sent him all this, like, I think it was like black and white Super 8. And he went and shot the funeral and had to re-edit his documentary before we released it on VHS. And I did a couple other things with him. He is one of the founders of the New York Underground Film Festival. So he went to NYU, which is a totally pretentious, elitist school, but that's not who Todd Phillips is. And he also, to his credit, made another documentary that never got released. It was never released. It played once, and this is pro tip for everyone listening. It played once at the Sundance Film Festival. It's called Frat House, and it's about frat house hazing. Well, it's a bunch of rich kids, right? And he didn't completely get clearance from everybody to be in the film. Movie never happened. It was going to be sold to HBO. It was going to be a big deal. He never sold it. So you might find this movie Frat House by Todd Phillips. If you search YouTube, it might pop up.
Oh, see, I want to see it. Yeah, guerrilla
Yeah.
filmmaking. I love it. I love it.
Total guerrilla filmmaking. He infiltrated all these rich kids going to school and made this doc about hazing and whatnot. Anyways, so Todd Phillips is legit. I totally believe in him. He's the one that, like, when you saw the interviews, about Joker, he's like, I pitched to DC. Why don't you just do low budget superhero movies, one-offs? You can call it the DC. He pitched this, the DC Black series. They're not connected to any sort of connecting saga. They don't, it doesn't matter. They're just one-off films about characters or stories from the DC universe. And they let him do Joker, under 50 million movie, gross north of $1 billion, nominated for multiple Oscars. I believe that Joker 2 is going to be huge. And by the way, just because I'm part of this organization, the CCA, I got to reconnect with Todd. He's actually in my documentary called Film Threat Sucks, which may or may not be out next year at festivals. We'll see. But he agreed to do an interview. Really nice guy. And I saw him at one of these events I go to for CCA. And I talked to him about a sequel to Joker. This is when Joker was just on the circuit. I said, dude, you got to do a Joker 2. And I said, the guy who's the little person has to be in the Joker's gang. I said, basically, this was my pitch to him. We got in this whole conversation, this nerdy conversation. I don't know what the movie's about. I'm not taking credit for anything. I'm saying my pitch for it was, the Joker 2 is basically Batman is the bad guy. He's an asshole that ruins everything. Joker's trying to just live his life and do Joker shit. And so it takes place. It's like, it's like 15 years later. And Batman is just ruining everything to the point where by the end of the movie, you freaking hate Batman because he's just busting on the shit that Joker's trying to do. Joker's basically a troll. But there's a reason that movie did so well. I believe it hit the zeitgeist. This is the problem with modern Hollywood now. Modern Hollywood is not tapped into the zeitgeist.
They are not. They are so far away from it.
There's so many things it could tap into in the zeitgeist right now, things that are happening in our world.
Dude,
I'll say this. The new Mission Impossible taps into the zeitgeist. It's about, can you trust information in an age where things can be deep faked? Someone could just write a fake story about Gary Beekler and have it be true and have people believe it. Kind of happens already, right?
Yep.
People call you things and there's nothing verifiable. So Mission Impossible 2 touches on that, not in a preachy way, not in like a annoying way. Like it's tapped into the zeitgeist.
No, like you have a Marvel TV show called Secret Invasion, which you could really use a lot of stuff from today allegorically, right? And that would be on point. And
yes.
They're just going to talk about race. Yeah,
it's stupid. So I have I think they're going to see Superman is going to cost $300 million. I mean, I don't know if you heard that interview with James Gunn on, what was that podcast? It's the guy who was the
Lex Luthor's podcast. I forgot what it's called, but it's actually a really good podcast.
It's a good podcast. Yeah. And he got into it, talking about like working with I like that he fetishizes over details like costume and color design and things like that. Like
I think he'll get the costume right. I think he might even bring what Az calls the pants back.
Right. Something like so I have faith in James Gunn, but it's also the market. It's DC has had so many false starts. I think people are just sort of over it. And The Flash, which I think is, look, it's such a flawed film. We don't need to revisit it. At the same time, there are parts of that movie that are a popcorn pleaser, applause moments, the stuff with Michael Keaton, right? I mean, the CG is god awful, but among other things, but like 2 Ezra Millers. But look, that couldn't even do well. So it shows like,
I was surprised how bad it did, right? I didn't think it would be like, I didn't think it was going to be $1 billion movie, but we were still like, we're pelted with so much information, even to like a total skeptic like me when it comes to the media. It's like, I don't believe a fucking word you guys say. It still was pelted enough. And I'm like, well, people want to see Michael Keaton. People want to see Michael Keaton Batman. And it it wasn't not only enough, it was a waste of time. It was like you literally wasted Michael Keaton. And I was shocked with how poorly it did. But when we look back on it, I think we're going to be a little less shocked. We're going to, maybe we should have seen this coming. But like, even when you saw it, like, you liked it more than I did, but you weren't calling it this reinvention of the superhero film like other people were for over and over again. And actors were coming out, and James Gunn came out and straight up lied. There's no way in hell James Gunn thinks this is a good movie. There's just no way in hell. And now the production designer has come out and said, yeah, we had crazy deadlines. It looks terrible. And good for him. Thank you, or her, whoever it was. Thank you for being honest. And nobody blames like what was it? Across the Spider-Verse, they lost 100 animators over time. And I don't hate the response. People were like, it's so insensitive. But like, I think one of the producers said, welcome to showbiz.
That was Amy Pascal said that. And I understand what she's saying. And look, I'll say this. There's a generation of people who have not worked in the industry that are working in the industry currently that they're very loud and complaining.
Came right out of school, they came right out of their parents' bedroom into school to work in the real world, and just like, oh, I'm just gonna get to digitally, make my stuff. Whenever I want. No, it doesn't work like that.
I always tell people, especially in indie film, you have to manage your expectations. What do you see? Because this is the thing that is the lie. Let me tell you, one of the many lies of the industry is that you write a screenplay and it's your first screenplay and you sell it and you get $1 million. That is utter bullshit. I have friends that are screenwriters. I have friends, my friend Justin Stanley, who I actually wrote a script with him that we then developed into like this animated project, which may or may not happen someday. But Justin, he'll sell a script every 4 or 5 years, and he'll get, like, he has a writing partner, and he'll get $500,000, but he has a writing partner, so cut that in half. And then he has a manager and agent, and then he has to pay taxes. So he probably made just over $100,000, and he estimates it's like, yeah, that's a manager at a Burger King is what I made for the last 4 years of working on a script and meetings.
Do you know what a car wash manager? I guess that some Buc-ee's have a car wash.
Oh, really?
Didn't really notice it, but I saw a sign at a Buc-ee's, and it said car wash manager, $125,000 a year. We're hiring. I'm like, holy shit. Damn. I want to manage a car wash.
Oh, I would love to work at Buc-ee's doing that.
Oh my God, yes. It's a beautiful place. It's a wonderful
But I'll
place.
just say, this is a lie that the industry perpetuates, that you're going to come here and it's like the gold rush, right? You're going to come here and you're going to strike gold and you're going to make $1 million, or these are people that are also stupid. I also have friends who are actors, and the experienced actors, like my friend Tommy Bechtold, right? He's a comedian. He's on HBO shows. He works all the time. He was like a recurring on Jimmy Kimmel. He wore like a slave Leia outfit and was in the audience. He's like a plant in the audience, but he's a comedian. And he got to work with Harrison Ford on something. He was sending me pictures like from backstage. Really nice guy. Tommy I work with him for years on a bunch of different things. He still will work as a bartender while he's making money and lives well below his means, even though he's getting like big paychecks, right? Because you don't know, you might not work for 6 months or a long time. Whereas the morons that come to Hollywood, the first big paycheck they get, they buy a car. Stupidest thing you could do. It's like, you've really got to be smart. And that's not something they teach you. There was that show Hard Knocks on HBO, which is about the NFL. And what I like about it's kind of, some might say it's boring. It's real inside. Well, it's inside baseball on football, so to speak. But it's a really good show that shows you like what the business is really.
Yes.
And how hard it is to succeed in that, and how much of a professional you really have to be if you're going to succeed.
One of our mutual friends, Paulie, His lady is a working actress, right? And she's like, you know, like lunch pail working actress. And Melissa has a friend who's kind of in the same position, and you got to have your hustle on. And if you have your hustle on, you can make a decent living doing it. Like, but you're going to auditions all the time. You got to be able to take rejection. It's really freaking hard. You got to have talent and game. And, you know, that's what you need to make it in that town. And you can, but it's not, you know, you're never going to get super duper rich. That is, as with everything in the world, that is those are the tops. That's that 1% everybody talks about. Well, we need that 1%. We actually do, because they pay for everything. So, you know, and that's part of it. But, what's going to happen very shortly in Hollywood with CGI and stuff is just AI, and they're going to start outsourcing it too. They already have. They tried to outsource the metadata at Technicolor. You know, God, it's been 12 years, 10 years since I worked there. I was training my replacement. I was hired to train my replacement in Bangalore, India.
Oh my God!
And then they figured out we can't do it. not with art, because there was too much of a cultural divide. But that might be closing with the, you know, India cinema like really coming up. You know, so that divide might be closed. Look for them to outsource out of the country, and AI will probably take care of a lot of this CGI problems in the very near future.
Yeah. It's well, look, I mean, it's already being done. Secret Invasion, the opening title
Yes.
sequence.
Nobody lost their job because of that, Chris. Did you hear that?
Is that true?
No. But the funniest thing is, I just think that it's Marvel Studios, which comes from Marvel Comics, which is the comics publisher, and almost to a man and woman, aside from a few exceptions, they all hate AI. So for them to put it in the credits is hilarious. It is such a middle finger to your creatives. And quite frankly, I've got a middle finger for the creatives who currently work at Marvel Comics right now anyway. So I completely agree with them. For most of them, anyway. Most of them. Because they've been complete shitheads to the paying customer. The paying customer. Yeah. Let's read a couple soups and we'll get on to the next subject.
Cool.
But, yeah, dude, we'll get on to Comic-Con next. We'll get the schedule up because it doesn't look like WB's going, does it? Like,
well, the biggest announcement, they should have held that announcement for 3 weeks.
3
They could have
weeks.
announced that at Comic-Con.
I guess that I don't think they have any money. I mean, it was kind of modest how they announced their whole DCU. It was like in a little theater room about as big as mine. So,
well, I'll say this. I heard that in order to do a panel with talent at Comic-Con, you're looking at several $1 million investment. It's several $1 million to put on effectively a live show that is you doing the press release in the form of a show. And to the faithful, right? To an audience of people
of the faithful, the home crowd.
Right. They're going to love everything that you say and hang on every word. And they should have saved it. They should have brought out, here's your new Superman. It probably would have leaked before. And, you know, they could have just said, oh, wait. And then it's like, here, it's official. Think about it. They could have played some music, just some fanfare, done a little Q&A. The way James Gunn's going about this, dude, you've been to Comic-Con. You've been part of those events before. Do you not know what you're doing? That 5-minute video he released on Twitter, what a mistake. If I could talk to him and say, why are you promoting this stuff this way? It's God.
And you don't need to do this. Like, they need to downsize it. Okay, real quick. If there wasn't superhero fatigue, then why did Marvel cancel Comic-Con? Okay.
Right.
I think it's kind of answers itself. They didn't have the desire to go because they didn't think it was worth it. Fuck the strike shit. Kevin Feige could go out there by himself. He's a producer. He could go out there by himself. And that's what most of Hall H used to be before all this Hollywood shit. Some of the best panels were Nathan Fillion talking about Firefly and Serenity. That guy worked a room. And it was just Nathan Fillion, 4 actors from Serenity, and a screen that showed stills. That's all it was. You don't need the fucking pyrotechnics or lighting or any of that shit. That's all it was. One of the best panels I ever went to was Richard Donner talking about the Donner Cut. and Margot Kidder was there. It was fucking great. Tenacious D played. There was no like concert lights. They just came out and played. It's like you don't need any of that shit. You just need people there talking about it, having fun. But they don't. Once you get so big, that's why I always say too big to succeed. You can't downsize. You can't just like, hey, let's bring this back home a little bit. Let's reset. You know what? Somebody on Twitter, I'm not going to take credit for this. The Great Hollywood Reset has started. Wish I could take credit for that saying, but the Great Hollywood Reset has started. And that's what's going on right now. And superheroes will be part of it. They will be part of it. They had a great tempo. We were just talking about the Joker. $50 million movie. Go back to Deadpool. $70 million movie. Both hugely successful films. That's what you need to do. Buford T. Justice for $49.99. Thank you, Buford T. Justice. I'm so tired. 50. I'm so tired of the superhero fatigue argument. It's lazy. The first problem is terrible woke writing, but the biggest factor is brand damage. They could make a good Star Wars movie, and I'm not going to see it. I'm not going to see new DCU. I'm done. So, yes, he's done. That is the very definition of, well, it's not even fatigue. It's I'm out. Fatigue doesn't go far enough. Fatigue is just I'm tired. And yeah, you have like, I would never miss anything superhero. Anything, Chris. Anything. Yeah. 10 years ago, it's a superhero. It's a man and woman in tights. I'm there. I don't care what the level of quality is. I'm just there because I'm a fan. Now I'm like picking and choosing it. And I do this shit for a living now. I'm not going to see it all. And you can't keep track of it all. And it's overall Hollywood fatigue. There's still very good shows being made, but they are lost in the oversaturation. That's why that factors in too. Good will always be good. People will, but you can't make that argument for everything because I brought up Dredd, Gore. Like Dredd is one of the best adaptations of a comic book. I'll put it in air quotes because it's British, but of a comic book ever. And it did dick in the movie theaters. And everybody knows who Judge Dredd is. Now it's lived a good life after that, and it's got lots of respect, and I would call it a cult classic at this point, but it should have been a hit. It's a good movie. It's a legit, objectively great movie. Prydain Chronicles for 20 British pounds. That is proper money. Thank you very much. Good evening, all. Well, good afternoon. Good evening over there in the UK. What's up, my UK peeps? I love you. Can't wait to see you in September. Regarding Mission Impossible 7 Part 1, you think of Tropic Thunder, dude, which is making fun of the Mission Impossible movies, which were, kind of becoming a parody of themselves. But now they're all of a sudden they've been around so long. It's like people have always liked them, but like people are taking them way more seriously. I think this one's going to do pretty well. That runtime, a little long, but it's called Mission Impossible 7 Part 1. Yeah, it's so funny. Mission Impossible 7 Part 1 of 3. And Oppenheimer. I want to see both on IMAX. I do too. But due to their close release date, Mission Impossible only gets 1 week on IMAX screens. The theaters are going to regret that. That is a bad decision. That is a very, very bad decision. You're going to have empty Oppenheimer theaters. Fucking empty after the first week. Couple weeks. That you just are. The power of Nolan is great, but I was watching Nerdrotic, Geeks and Gamers Daily this morning, and Beardo said, "Yeah, it's probably," and he said it like not funny wise, which just makes it even funnier. He goes, "Yeah, Oppenheimer is going to be a slow burn." Tell that to Hiroshima.
Oh no.
I wanted to type in the chat so bad, but I was at the gym. Too soon?
Oh. It's never.
Oh, where was I? Oh, Oppenheimer gets about a month. Bad scheduling. That is horrible scheduling. And then it turned into a Nolan versus Tom Cruise dick measuring contest. And I mean, Tom Cruise is going to ultimately win because you'll just watch. I mean, you won't be able to see it in IMAX, but there's a lot of the one thing I'll give theaters is the theater experience has greatly improved. Like you get your little comfy chair, the sound is rocking. The screens are pretty big now. You know, the DTS stuff or whatever the hell it is. You know, IMAX is cool. I like IMAX. It didn't help The Flash, and I saw it in IMAX. Didn't help The Flash. But that Dune trailer looked fucking good. Oof.
Hell yeah.
Oh my God. Seeing it like that made the difference. I saw the Dune trailer on, YouTube, and I'm like, that's good. Then I saw it on IMAX. I went, whoa. Holy shit. The effects look so freaking good. And that like Mission Impossible 7, Dune 2 are the two movies I'm looking the most forward to by far.
Yeah, you're gonna be real happy with Mission Impossible. I felt the same way I felt when I saw Top Gun, in the sense that this feels like a movie out of time. This feels like a movie from another era. I sent you this. Well, we can talk about that later. I DM'd you a video that I think you should watch about explaining like why movies have become meta, why modern movies like Top Gun kind of stand out in a good way. But like it felt the same way as Top Gun Maverick, in the sense that like, why aren't they making movies like this where it's just here to entertain you? There's all sorts of plot twists and things you don't see coming, and then crazy over the top action sequences. And Tom Cruise, like, I mean, I'm aware that there's some digital enhancement, whatever, but you're looking at these stunts and he is beating the crap. I mean, he has to be covered in bruises during so much of this. I mean, like there's this car chase scene in Italy that is so over the top insane. I don't want to get in because they don't show a lot of it in the trailer. Oh my God, it's so good. And the actress who plays Mantis, why do I always forget her last name? Palm something.
Yeah, Mantis.
Yeah, Mantis, the Mantis chick. She's great. I mean, she's great. She has a certain special set of skills, but she's such a badass in it. Like, just in a good way. In a way, they don't know how to do. Like Disney hasn't figured out how to do women as badasses. They're effectively just men, and then they just make them women, and that's not. Women are badass in a different way than men. I don't think that they get it.
No. Have you seen Extraction and Extraction 2?
I haven't seen Extraction. I have not, actually.
Okay, they're like really solid action movies, like really fun, solid action movies. The female handler in that is done pretty well. It's done pretty well. They have her fighting and occasionally she hits a dude that's bigger than her, but she also gets her ass beat. Like so. There's verisimilitude there. Those are they're fun. They're good fun movies. So I highly recommend. Drinker did a good video on it, and I totally agree. And that's the only reason I watched it. And I was like, all right, and I dug it. I thought it was fun. It's getting a little bit, into the realm of holy shit, this is impossible. But I'm okay with that if it's fun, if it's done in a fun way. Joseph Heischmeyer. God, I'm sorry if I screwed that up. For $19.99, been seeing Applebee's promos for Indy 5. Spend $35 and get a free ticket. Yeah, for Indiana Jones, dude. I don't eat there. Neither do I. Never have, never will. But I imagine it is easy to spend $35. Seems like they're basically handing out tickets to boomers on a date night. I guess we can talk about that briefly.
Sure.
An Indiana Jones film looking to flop. What a catastrophic failure.
It feels weird, and I do plan to see it again. I'm going tomorrow, so I'm seeing it with my movie meetup group at the AMC Burbank 16. The IMAX screening there is sold out, but that theater is not. That is not. It's not a good barometer for the rest of the country.
You're in the hometown. I'm going to put that link in the chat there, X-Ray Girl. There we go.
So I do plan to see it again. I did speak to a friend who saw it a second time.
I'll look right now. Go ahead.
This buddy of mine who saw it a second time was like, the things that are good actually are good. And then there's like a lot of things that just feel even worse, like upon second viewing. But it's like the first 20 minutes work, and the very end, there's something that I think that you will like. Uh, I think there is at least one thing I know you like, and that's kind of it for a 2.5 hour movie.
Right?
Yeah.
Ooh. I am currently looking at, like, this is the theater. It's a theater that I go to. I'm not going to share it. So you're going to have to trust me, bro. But this is the theater I go to. And there are, right now, this movie opens tomorrow. This is the first showing. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 tickets sold.
What? Is it
7?
at prime time, like 7 p.m.? Or
It's 3. It's the 3 o'clock show, but it's
3
summer.
o'clock?
It's summer. This is a popular theater that absolutely got packed for Miles Morales 2. That was freaking packed. For Super Mario was selling out. Like the whole theater was sold out.
Dang.
So
Wow.
17 tickets sold so far.
Wow.
And
Mine is 10.
That is weird.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right, Gary. That shouldn't matter. It's summer. Kids are out of school. Like, people, this just goes to show. And this is what makes me, because look, I want the industry to be healthy, but the industry currently is not being honest with itself. I mean, this is true for a lot of problems that we have currently in the culture. Are people unable to be honest with themselves about what the real problem is, and just living in the realm of common sense.
right.
Okay. Live in the realm of common sense. Life is much easier than a lot of the nonsense we deal with today. There are TikTok videos that that Beardo has done on the Geeks and Gamers that have gotten bigger views than the views of people who watched the first episode of Secret Invasion over a week. I mean, you're competing not just with video games, but also social media
Well,
and TikTok.
and
And movies are not resonating like they used to. Increasing the running time is not going to curry the favor of the kids, so to speak. You are not you're not reaching the zeitgeist of issues of what it's. This is like, and this is something I think you've not seen this movie. No Hard Feelings. I message you, Gary. I've seen it twice. You will love it. I think you will love it. You're gonna have problems with it, but it is in the zeitgeist about. It deals with more serious issues. For example, I mean, the teen sex comedy is effectively dead as a genre, but people forget movies like that you and I grew up with. Porky's dealt with anti-Semitism.
Yep.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High dealt with abortion.
Yep.
A lot of teen sex comedies also had deeper layers where they dealt with more, or they got more serious. Even movies like Risky Business with Tom Cruise. This movie, No Hard Feelings, deals with a kid that's like isolated. He's 19 years old, but doesn't have a driver's license. He watches anime and kind of lives at home with his parents, doesn't really want to go to I think he's in Harvard or something, and they hire this woman to bring him out of his shell, this 19-year-old kid that's a virgin.
I hope she talks him out of going to Harvard.
Well, yeah, but what's interesting is that's in the zeitgeist. That's a lot of parents now. And a weird thing that's happening, I just read this, new home builds. So they're building, they plan these new home builds. New home builds include a studio apartment like living space for an adult child. This is a real thing. The culture and society has shifted in a way. And the movie No Hard Feelings, I mean, look, you wouldn't know this from the trailers, but it actually deals with something that's out there in the zeitgeist. And it reminded me of one of my all-time favorite movies directed by Hal Ashby, Harold and Maude. Also about a May-December relationship, Bud Cort and Ruth Gordon. I'm only saying this for people in their 50s that are currently watching or listening to the Nerdrotic Nooner right now, because they're the only ones that would remember a movie from the 70s. But you might, Gary. Harold and Maude.
I remember Harold. Yep.
Okay. All-time great comedy, but it deals with acceptance of death, an appreciation for life. there are deeper layers to it, even though it's like this just bizarre comedy, not a raunchy sex comedy, even though there is sex in that movie. But No Hard Feelings deals with that. And the thing is, so few Hollywood movies, I'm seeing these Hollywood movies,
Well,
in particular companies like Disney, that it's almost like they don't know what's going on in the world, and they only appeal to a small fragment of loud idiots.
okay, so you're speaking of the Zeitgeist. This,
Yes.
I think Indiana Jones, the entire decision to use the story they did was an absolute misunderstanding of the Zeitgeist. I did a video on it, and I think it's really pushing what the media has been pushing for quite some time now, and forcing in the National Socialists once again in this story. Like they feel like we gotta have them fighting the Nazis. Now it's kind of a misunderstanding of the brand of Indiana Jones. And it's also, they really wanted to force that in. And there's no way anybody could convince me otherwise. They wanted to have Indy punching Nazis.
Yeah.
Which, if you're gonna, I made this point when I heard this was being shot. I'm like, if they found a way to de-age Harrison Ford for an entire film, okay, sure. Yeah. But there's other things you can have Indy doing that would be just as interesting, that would make more money. Like I mentioned in my video, like having him go after Atlantis. That would be way more interesting. Okay. And you could have some other nefarious government organization from some wherever, and it wouldn't make any difference. But that they really wanted to push that hard. That is a misunderstanding. That is what they want. They're trying to create the Zeitgeist instead of like understanding it, Chris. And because like trends are natural. They come from us, okay? They come from our desires, and Hollywood is not where they create them anymore. It's where they go to die. It's where trends go to die. And they have such a disconnect with the audience, they just don't get it. So they keep pushing the same shit. This is why we get like, I put up on Twitter today that America's healing because we don't have late night talk show. Like, they're going to start blaming some of these movie failures on the lack of late night talk shows. Nobody gives a fuck about those anymore. Like,
Right.
it is old people falling asleep with their TV on. That is fucking it. Like, no young person is watching Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Yes.
They just aren't. And you know what? If they keep going down this road, scripted film is going to become a boomer thing. The ages are going up from people watching these movies anyway. And they're going to start like Star Wars is aging out. Star Trek has already aged out. Doctor Who aged out. Marvel Comics is aging out. DC Comics is aging out. It won't be long until they're going to start adapting anime and video games, because that's what young people give a shit about right now. That's just a fact. So this was their last hurrah. This was Lucasfilm's last hurrah. This is the last thing they had to not completely fuck up, even after Crystal Skull, and they found a way to do it. It like, look at this first paragraph. They wanted to put the 140 million up there. 60 to 65 million opening weekend for Indiana Jones. Now, I think Crystal Skull had a 4-day opening weekend,
Right.
and it did 100 million. But that's still, take away the one holiday. I think. I'm not sure. I think I remember seeing that. But take away, that's 70 million. Adjust for inflation, it's probably more like 85 to 90 now.
Yeah.
It's not going to do as well as Crystal Skull. And that's abysmal. And that's about what The Flash did. And what's interesting is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Dysentery cost about as much as The Flash. They're both extremely expensive movies that are going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars. And this is Indiana fucking Jones with Harrison Ford.
This Zeitgeist conversation that we're having, this is where you either go, you can go against the Zeitgeist or try to find something in the Zeitgeist. The reason the first Star Wars exists in the first place is because Lucas
went against it.
It was, I mean, look, we're going through some dark times currently, but the late 60s, early 70s with, Nixon, the end of the Vietnam War, just so much social upheaval and chaos. Lucas was like, yeah, I want to make a fairy tale and a hero film for young boys. He went against it. And I'm telling you, if you're an indie filmmaker out there, really look at what are the things that people are dealing with that are in the zeitgeist right now. And no hard feelings, as much as, yes, cheesy, raunchy comedy with a full frontal nude Jennifer Lawrence. Just saying.
That's going to sell a few tickets.
It might sell a few tickets. I think it's pretty amazing. It's not a sex scene, but it is. I mean, it's an applause moment. I saw it with a packed crowd twice. Gary, you should go see it, dude. Please.
I'll see it on
40.
streaming.
Dude, come on.
I'm not going to go to a theater
on,
and see it. Dude, I got time for that. I got Indiana Jones
anyway,
coming out. I got Witcher coming
I
out. Jeez, I got Comic-Con in a couple weeks.
I just want to be able to talk to you about it because
okay, maybe I'll try.
It just reminds me of a lot of kids that I know. You know, my daughter has friends. I see like kind of kids are struggling to become adults and have adult responsibilities.
Well, it doesn't help that they were forced to be home for a couple of years. I mean, that was happening anyway, and it was made 1,000 times worse when they were forced to be home.
Yes.
For a couple of years in some cases.
I like movies that touch on truths, and what we're seeing and what we've seen in a lot of Disney everything is pushing a lie as a way to change the culture. That will not. And what we've seen in the last like several months, I feel like the tide is turning. That if you are inauthentic, if people, and I think more than anything, young people can smell BS. Young people can smell BS. I mean, I'm pretty much still the angry Gen X punk that I was in the 80s. I have not changed. And there's a video of me on the Film Threat YouTube channel. If you've got 5 minutes, it's movie reviews I did in the late 90s. With me, I look like an idiot, but I have this weird haircut. I didn't really care, you know, like I didn't care. Like I never really cared about my looks, and just like I'm like a doughy 30-year-old. It's pretty funny, but I'm the same guy. I'm literally going, oh yeah, that's like something I would say now. Like it's my opinions about things are pretty much the same. But I think that this is why a lot of these movies are bombing.
Yes,
is they're just not tapped into the culture.
They're not.
It's kind of why something comes out of the blue. It's like, how did that become a hit? Who knows? And it's like, it's always about zeitgeist. It's always about this tapped into the zeitgeist, whether it's a fear, and horror tends to do that better than most genres. Because one, horror is really cheap, but horror can deal with sort of societal anxieties. So I find that interesting.
Well, we're seeing that paradigm shift with media. I played the clip. I'll play it again, probably in a video, of Tom Hanks talking about the strike. And he's a producer, so he's got to kind of like play it safe. But at the end of his conversation, old Tom said, it's a different world now because there's a lot of free entertainment out there that we're competing against. And it's the first time I've heard somebody like of Tom Hanks' stature admit it, like it just straight out and say the quiet part out loud is, yeah, there's YouTube, there's TikTok, there's all this streaming out there that's free. That's free entertainment. We're entertaining each other. So like, and I think he was really just trying to like semi take our position, which is, hey, writers, keep that in mind. We have an oversaturation now of streaming content. That bubble has burst. Now there's going to be contraction, which no corporation deals with very well at all, which is contraction, but it needs to happen. And things like late night TV are not long for this world. And, daytime shows not long for this world. These big produced things when, we can just watch somebody in the room talk about stuff and be way more compelling and real and just real. I think that's what people long for. Real quick. So yeah, Indiana Jones, going to see it tomorrow. You've already seen it. You're going to see it again, you said?
I'm going to see it again. Well, I want to go do a deeper dive and discuss it. Although we're probably going to talk about Mission Impossible, Alan and I, on Friday, and then a couple new little indie movies that have come out. There hasn't been anything.
You really need to right after Critics Court. You need to, if you haven't already, make a Mission Impossible spoiler-free review and put that video on your channel as soon as possible. As soon as possible.
do it.
Do
I'll
it.
do it. I'll
Okay.
do it. I will for sure, man.
Yeah.
No, you've. I really appreciate all your great advice. I take it to heart. So, and we're seeing my channels closing in. We're like over 80,000.
Dude, you're one of the
You
few
know?
people like we actually trust, and you're going to see these movies early. Take advantage of that. Take
Yeah,
advantage of it.
I can't really do a full review.
No,
They're saying we
you don't.
social.
Does Jeremy
We'll do a
Johns do a full review of anything?
That's true. It's like 5
No,
minutes.
it's just his personality. He gives you like a really basic, like I kind of liked it. I'll talk about a couple of scenes and tell you to drink or not to drink. That's it.
Right.
That you can do that.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do it because you said, and then you'll see no hard feelings. I can't
There
wait.
you go. And I'll you know what? I'll go watch Jennifer Lawrence get naked. Okay, it's the sacrifice I'll make.
Hey, take Mrs. Nerdrotic. I think she would like.
I would. I don't
I
think
think she would really like it.
she would get pissed if I went without her.
Yeah, you got. It's okay, Gary. You're the one that said it. I'm crediting you. You said someone needs to make a raunchy comedy.
Yes.
Right now, this is that movie. This is the movie you wanted Hollywood to make. They made it for Gary,
We need
and now you need to go see it. Don't wait for streaming, Gary. Go see this.
okay. We need our boy Todd Phillips to make another freaking Hangover like old school like comedy.
He might after this thing, but I see this is to circle back to like Todd Phillips and earlier. I think that James Gunn should be looking at what Todd's doing. And can you find this is what Marvel used to do? They would pluck these small indie directors, right? And they would give them all these resources. They'd kind of let them give the indie feel, so you'd have the studio look of the budget, right? But what do these indie directors do? Well, they dealt with the actors. They made it feel real. They made the story. I mean, if anything, Jon Favreau, he came from indie.
Yeah.
His movie Slingers, which Doug Liman directed it, but Jon Favreau initially wanted to direct it, but Doug Liman's family paid for the movies, so they kind of bought their kid a pass to direct a film. I still think Doug Liman's very talented, but Jon Favreau came from indie. The original Iron Man feels, if you take away all the special effects, take away all the spectacle, it's an indie movie, and that's what people long for, because what indie does well is truth. Things resonate emotionally. That's what Hollywood. I don't think Hollywood does that well. I think Hollywood does spectacle. But you combine those two, and that's what made, I think, the early Marvel succeed, was because of that sort of sweet and sour, that combo, right? Like just it worked. It was something that worked. If Gunn was smart, he'd bring in some new indie that really shows promise, that shows they know how to direct actors, and give them resources. That's how James Gunn got in that position. I mean, his movie he made before the first Guardians was a movie with Rainn Wilson that was like a trauma film called Super.
Yeah.
It was weird. I love that movie, by the way. But
And Slither.
yeah, like these little small. I mean, he wrote Tromeo and Juliet, which is like a weird.
Yeah.
And then he ghost wrote like Lloyd Kaufman's autobiography.
Lloyd Kaufman is a weird dude.
I love Lloyd Kaufman.
He made Stan Lee drop an F-bomb in front of me. It was pretty funny.
I love Lloyd. He is Uncle Lloyd. Is
I like it. He's cool. So hey, real quick, here's Comic-Con.
Sure. Yeah.
So that San Diego Comic-Con 2023 list of announced panels. You're not on the list of announced panels, dude.
No, these are the big panels. Mine is a small panel in a room at the Marriott Marquis Marina.
Okay, let's put big in air quotes, please. So the big panel is Dean Ormstrom, working class superhero at the Marriott in Ballroom 6. So that's not even at the con. That's preview night. Thursday, July 20th, movies. Nothing.
What?
Nothing. See that? Zero. Nothing. Television, ghosts, and nothing else. Comic books, and it's adapting stories to graphic novels. These are like panels that get about, 10 people, 15 people. Good luck to them. But a different type of romance, fables and fairy tales, figure drawing in the beginning, manga publishing, that'll probably be full, Tokyo Pop full, turning a comic book into a franchise. Oh. This is not a good year to do this panel.
Yeah.
Writing for comics and manga. Other panels, Fleischer Cartoons panel. I'll probably go to that. That's probably what I'll go to. Transformers brand panel. That sounds kind of fun. I think Az would like that one. I would too. We go to Fridays, movies. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Now, to be fair, Chris, you know, this early, they usually do the big announcements like about a week ahead. It's like a week and a half, but they always have something. There'd be like 5 or 10 titles in this already. There's none. Television, Continental. Okay, I'd probably go see that. I'd probably go. It depends where it is. I don't do Hall H anymore. Adventures for comic books. It's voice acting, some other stuff, classic stories, creators, color, like nothing. Oh, hey, a golden age of women in comics because, yeah, Hispanic creators. Okay. As time gets closer, by the way, I'll do my traditional woke panels review. Lucasfilm Publishing. Do they mention the High Republic? We're gonna get I think the Obi-Wan comic book, but I don't see High Republic. Oh, there it is, right there. The High Republic. The High Republic's going to be there. Oh, so exciting.
Oh, my God.
Other panels, harnessing the power of pop culture for mental health awareness. Woo, can't wait for that one. Making a living being creative. Who are they talking to on this? Production manager across the Spider-Verse. Okay, that's probably good. Twilight of the Gods. All right. Star Wars, past, present, and future. It has none. You can take away the present and future. There's only past. Saturday, big day for Hall H, right, Chris?
It's supposed to be.
It's empty.
Yeah, we'll be able to get into Hall H. I mean, I would
know.
like to go just because I don't get to go as much, and I just like to check it out.
Hall H is where we're gonna go to, like, you know, you have to readjust your bags after you buy a bunch of shit, and you're like, oh my God, you know, like I have to like break things down, you know, like that's what I'll do. I'll do it to put stuff in my backpack, readjust my bags, and leave.
I do the same thing. I sit in the back. I go through my stuff. I answer my text messages, couple Instagram or social posts. I see what's happening that night. So I'm sitting in the back, half paying attention and doing exactly what you just described.
Saturday, no movies, television, Critical Role and Heels. Okay. Book Nerd Challenge and audiobook game. Comics and mental health, overcoming depression and anxiety. You know, that's what I want to, you know, wait in some ridiculous line to go. I want to go to comic book convention to talk about depression. And they're not giving you a panel, bro.
Well, I mean,
what the fuck?
Gave me a panel. No, they gave me a panel, but it was like,
I know you're trying to be nice. I don't need to be nice. Do give Chris Gore an Attack of the Doc panel, okay? You could put the comics mental health one at the Marriott, and you could bring Chris to the fucking main one, okay?
That would be kind of a cool thing. They should do a G4 TV reunion show, and I'll talk about Attack of the Doc and make that happen. I don't know. That would be a
great idea.
That would be really fun.
That would be fun. That would be fun. And plus the fact that I'll have copies of my Blu-ray, I am going to be doing, I don't have a place to sign. If anyone out there,
anybody
DM me on Twitter, my DMs are open.
Does anybody have a retail table, an artist table where they can like rent Chris Gore about 2 feet of your table for a couple hours on Saturday? Please contact Chris Gore. So, so he has a place to sell his, and he'll shout out your retail site or your table wherever he's at, and I will too. So please contact Chris.
But we're gonna have the Blu-rays because they're going to our Kickstarter backers first. Attack of the Doc will be available for pre-order at attackofthedoc.com next week. You can pre-order it. It'll be shipping in August. But if you want to get it before anyone else gets it, see me at Comic-Con and you'll have it. The Kickstarter backers will probably have it first, but
Reluctant readers, how to get your kids to read. Oh, you
What?
mean you haven't done that yet? Years and years. I think they think it's making everyone gay. Leave children alone. That's where I'll leave that one. Writing and publishing graphic novels. Eric July should be running that panel. Some a couple of other people's. Cartoon voices, Dungeons and Dragons 40 years, engineering superhero technology, trivia. Okay, Sunday. Movies, nothing. Television, nothing. Oh my God. I thought that was Knives Out. Kids Draw Superhero, Philip K. Dick, 71 Years of Illusions. That's a good one. Success in Creativity, Making the Best of Your Resources. Wow, there's some PhDs. Not seeing anybody I recognize. X-Men Fandom Panel. Okay. Directors on Directing Collider Panel. Directors on Directing Collider? Like Collider?
Collider, yeah.
We'll premiere footage from 2 upcoming films. Expect to appear Steve Weintraub, our own buddy. One of the people who really pushed and coined the term toxic fandom. Piss off. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. Skip. Television, nothing. Comics, Asian American narratives. In comics, hey, that's one for you, Exode girl. Building the DC universe on Webtoon. D&D enters the world of Webtoon from Burnout to Brainstorm. Golden Age of Women in comics. Yay. What happened? Oh, there it is. Transgender and non-binary stories in comics. But you got a panel at the Marriott. Okay.
It's
Motherfucker. What the fuck? Yeah. Gay geeks and where to find them. It's like Tinder. Fucking
No, that's Grinder.
Grinder. Sorry. Grinder, Tinder. I don't use them dating apps because I'm happily married to a woman. So there you go. Podcasting 101.
Gary, you should host that.
I'm not hosting that one. Not hosting.
I actually do like that they continue to promote like these, if you're someone who aspires to get involved in certain things, that they do these like 101 panels. Obviously not for me, but like I love that is
Yeah, they should always do those. They should do a crowdfunding panel. Get Eric.
That's the thing. Why don't they do like that kind of stuff? I mean, that's what. Well, actually, Eric. I don't know if I can say this. Well, I'll just say it. Eric July is going to be on my panel, which is called the Indie Filmmakers Survival Guide.
I guess
I'm going to have him
secret's out.
Let's talk about fundraising.
That secret's out. Yep.
Yeah, that's a secret that's out, and it's at 4 p.m.
Don't tell anybody.
4 p.m. Thursday. I believe it's Thursday, July.
I'll be there. I'll be watching the panel. I will be at that panel. I'll be fully supporting my friends.
You might end up being on the panel. But I just want to.
I wouldn't announce me being on a panel in advance anywhere. I just wouldn't. Eric's risky enough. So no, Eric should be all over Comic-Con. Are you kidding me? Shit.
They should do a Ripaverse panel only.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, that'd be great.
Absolutely. That thing would be packed. Oh, wait. Hey, but don't worry, everybody. We have another Women in Entertainment, How to Blaze Your Own Path.
Oh, my, yeah.
So that's 3, screw the men. Oh, my God. Hey, not attending, Chris. Lionsgate, Lucasfilm, Marvel Studios, Netflix, Sony, Universal Studios.
They all pulled out. It's crazy.
They all pulled out. All right. We're going to get some soups. Then the judge has to go.
You got to go to court.
Judge got to go court. I'll make some, after this week, I'll have time.
I have you in my schedule in court on July 12th, which is a Wednesday.
That's perfect.
and Az will be on. And also, it's the final charge. Count
Oh,
number 9. You're literally making the final argument.
gonna bring it home. I'm gonna
Yep.
bring it home with my boy Az. Is he gonna be there too?
Az, yeah, I talked to Az.
Ah, lovely. And the next day, I'm gonna be on. I probably shouldn't say.
Somewhere.
It's pretty
Can you
normal.
say?
It's pretty normal where I'm gonna be.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Can you say, is it a big show? that I
It's
would
pretty
know?
normal, and
It's big.
it's in the world. It's pretty normal, and it's in the world. That's my hint.
It can be a little gay sometimes too.
Oh, it can be
That's fine.
super gay, but everything we do is a little gay. Okay.
Put it in the private chat, X-Ray girl. I want to know. I want to know.
The chat will figure this out. Just read the chat. Don't figure.
Oh, that's great. Oh my God, that's so awesome. I love it. Oh my God, that's great.
Yeah. Sci-Fi for Life for $2 says, "Hey Gary, finally was able to get out of the hole. Oh, good. What hole were you
Is this
in?
like a golem thing?
It might be. So, wow, did we get a huge response to the Gollum thing?
Dude, if you started Nerdrotic Gaming, I would love to game with you, because I'm also, you and I are I'm a little bit older than you.
We should play Fortnite and just suck.
Oh my god.
Let's do it. I'm all in. I got a PS5. I could figure out. I'm sure I could figure it out.
Is Fortnite on? I don't think it's on PS5.
I don't even know.
I think it's on PS5. Yeah.
Is it?
I know it's on Xbox. Chat, is it on PS5?
You know,
You guys know.
I own an Xbox.
Yeah, it's on PS5.
I own an Xbox. I've never seen it because my kids took it.
You have an Xbox. Okay, I have a PS5.
Yeah.
I would buy
I have
an
a
Xbox
PS4.
to play games with you. I would do that.
Well, I'm waiting for my game room to be finished. It's been a year, and my Sega Spider-Man arcade game has been, we've been going back and forth because it's been really hard to find parts for it. Once that gets fixed, I'll have a legit gaming room with all the sisms, okay, and arcade games inside, and that's where I will game from. I got my 3D TV down there. Remember 3D, my plasma 3D TV.
Oh my God, 3D TV. That never, that didn't really take off.
Didn't really take off, but like a
No.
couple of discs were really good. The Doctor Who 50th anniversary disc 3D, fucking awesome.
Wow.
Epsilon for 10 British pounds. Hi there, Gary. Caught the start of your Gollum vid. Laughed so much. And Exoday girl, keep up the happy vibes. Our goddess. Wow.
Oh, thank you. I wouldn't call
Sip!
myself a goddess, but
Oh my goddess. Lay it on thick there, buddy.
I when I was watching the video, I just want to say, watching Az try to guide you, he'd be like, "Yes, ooh, hot, closer, closer," and I'm like, sounds like he's like a girl leading you to his like G
Oh
spot.
no. Oh, no.
And I'm like, oh, Az, those noises.
Well,
Anyways, and I had it on times 2, so that also probably didn't help either.
that probably made it more entertaining.
Yes, it did. It did.
man.
So you guys should watch it.
It's on
If you
Nerdrotic Live, where this will be when it's done. You can just hang on to the link. You can keep watching. That's fine too. Yeah. Hey, Nerdrotic Live is just something I dump my live streams on, but it's at 82,000. I'd like to get it to 100 by the end of the year. That'd be fun. Jens Anderson of the Tuari for 50 Swedish krona. It truly is gay month, as is swooning over Jim and Gary is hot for Mike. P.S. Watch Stargate. We need you to in the coming fight, and you will get my name right. Okay, I will. I am gonna. The plan is to watch it very soon and to pop reviews up. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start Stargate and rewatch Babylon 5 and do like little reviews for the members. Because we got an animated Babylon 5 coming out too. Pete for $10. Hail all. Gary, was there a reason to return the pistol hand phasers in Picard season 3? I don't remember hearing why. I had never saw it in season 1 or 2. Those were old. You're talking about in the first couple of episodes with Jack. I believe it was older technology they were using. I think that was the explanation. that was it. Disney buys an IP. Well, he was smuggling technology, and it was medical supplies and guns. And that's what Crusher had in the beginning. But I think they used it later too. Yeah. Their explanation is probably because it looks cool, which is not my favorite explanation in the world. Adam Warlock for 30 shekels. Disney buys an IP with an actor that loves the source material. Disney, shut the fuck up. That's it. Nick Nero for $1.99. He announced so these fail, and his look. What does that say, X-Ray Girl?
Amaze balls?
Yes, I know, but why? He announced so these fail and his look amaze balls.
English.
So that might
Not
be
so good.
Superman. He announced Superman because of the failures, which will create more failures. This is going to remind the audience that barely cares that the next 2 movies do not fucking count. And I mean, they still have Batman and Lex Luthor and others to announce. They're going to be doing that all year, which is going to just damage these lame duck films, which is going to damage your overall brand. And when we have 5 to 6 shitty movies in a row compared to maybe one, Joker 2, which isn't really a comic book movie, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's not gonna help with the public perception, the public desire. In the meantime, you get alternatives like Mission Impossible and some other stuff, and yeah, that's how things change. No offense, Chris, but he sounded like DSP for a moment when I joined the stream. Who?
What?
Darkside Phil? Chris? Chris doesn't sound like Darkside Phil.
Do I sound like
Not
Dark Side
really.
Phil?
No, you don't. Because you're not begging for money. Diego Faces. Thank you for the $5, though. I do appreciate it. Tutorial Slave on the Streamlab side for $10. Greetings, Garethy, Triple X-Ray Girl, and Gore the Woke Butcher. Tying into your bringing up DC Black series, what Elseworld stories should they adapt other than the obvious choices? The Nail, All-Star Superman, Gaslight, Batman Beyond, Red Sun. Oof.
I was gonna say Gotham by Gaslight. I don't know.
Kingdom Come.
Yeah, something like that. Like I thought, like what is Gunn gonna do that's bigger than those stories? Kingdom Come. I mean, that's I don't like what is he gonna do that's bigger than that? What is the? He's laying out a plan, but I just wonder if people are gonna have the stomach for it, even if it's a good Superman movie. You know, I don't know.
Superman for All Seasons.
Yeah.
Carnage Undone for $4.99. Stop. There is no such thing as superhero fatigue. It is only bad movie fatigue. If they keep making good superhero movies, no one would be tired of it. Of course. Absolutely, of course. But they're not. But they're not making good superhero movies. And Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which is a holdover, which is doing well, should have done better.
Mm-hmm.
Should have done better. Across the Spider-Verse, I'd say that's a holdover as well. And the reason I haven't done a review on that movie is because it's half a movie. It's half a movie, and I need to see where it's going because I suspect I know where it's going. And I'll give you a hint: I ain't gonna like it. I ain't gonna like it, and I strongly suspect where it's going. I'll give you a hint: it's gonna make Miles the bestest ever.
Oh. Okay.
He's going to do the one thing Spider-Man didn't. And it'll make him a better Spider-Man, even though he's getting his name from Spider-Man. He's getting all his legitimacy from Spider-Man, the brand, everything, villains, repurposed stories. When they could have just given him a different name and given him different villains and built him up from scratch, which they didn't do.
Or even make Miles part of Peter's story, that he has the same fate, right? In terms of being
Well, make him Robin. Make him
Chris
Robin.
was hours, and then it becomes a mentoring thing. I don't know.
That's the route they should have gone, but they absolutely wanted Black Spider-Man. That's what they wanted. Anakbamon, abuser of Streamlabs for $5. The fun of this live stream is watching X-Ray Girl mugging at the camera like a comedian in a silent film. Wow. That's one of two. Where's the second one?
Oh, he meant half the fun.
Oh, half the fun. Okay. Half the fun. Not all the fun. There you go. Chris, you got to go.
Yeah, I gotta get going. Dude, I can't wait to hang out with you. And I'm not just talking about Critics Court on July 12th at 1 p.m. Pacific time on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm talking about in San Diego in person. We're going to be hanging at the con. Also, the other thing we should talk about is, are we going to go see a movie on Thursday night? Because there are a couple big movies opening. There's Oppenheimer and Barbie.
Think we should flip a coin.
There's a Sophie's Choice. Maybe we just let the chat decide which movie that you and I are going to go see. Are we going to see Barbie or Oppenheimer?
We go together to Barbie. That's going to look weird. We'll find out. Yes, we will wait till it's closer, and then we will let the chat decide. And I already know what they're going to say.
Barbie.
Well, and by the way, they're doing these fan screenings of Barbie on Wednesday night. I checked in the San Diego area. There are 2 screenings. Both of them are 100% full. Not like a couple extra empty seats. No, 100%, including in the Burbank area. It's the Barbie party special screening on Wednesday, fan screening. They usually give you a poster or some little collectible if you go. I mean, you pay for it. You know, it's an open public screening. All of them are sold out. I haven't seen anything like that.
If Barbie becomes the runaway hit, the sleeper hit of the summer, I will laugh my ass off. I will just laugh my ass off.
But I do think that Barbie is tapping into something that's in the zeitgeist. That's where I think it's going to be successful. It's not because anyone gives a crap about a Barbie movie. It's because there's something in that film that I think is going to resonate with people. And the marketing for it is brilliant because they say, if you love Barbie, this is the movie for you. If you hate Barbie, this is the movie for you. I really think it's going to resonate because the things that the movie is really about, I think are going to be topical and resonate. Not necessarily with you and I, Gary, but oh my God, that episode of FNT where you make everyone go see Barbie is going to be great. Or
I really should.
Well, no, I suggested to Chris.
They're starting to rebel a little bit. Those co-hosts of mine.
I know.
They're getting a little petulant.
Oh my! So I suggested to Chrissy Mayer. I said you have to, like FNT, everyone from Simpcast, which is on Sunday evenings, appointment viewing. X-Ray Girl is a recurring. Simpcast, make everyone from Simpcast go see Barbie and then talk about it. I think that would be an epic episode of Simpcast. What does X-Ray Girl think?
I would love to, but when is that coming out? That's like in 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
We just said the date
3 weeks.
a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, Simpcast.
Check out Critics Court in 2 hours and 12 minutes.
1 hour.
It's 1 hour and 12 minutes. Sorry, 1 hour and 12 minutes.
Cool. All right, Gary, thanks so much, dude. We will talk offline. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
X-Ray Girl. I love you like a sister.
Aww.
And
That's
what I'll
adorable.
say about that. Despite what the rumors.
Does Alan think you're like his son?
Yeah. Well, despite the fact that the internet wants to ship us, I reject.
You have too many legs.
That was a joke. That was a joke. All right.
That's a good one.
Oh my God. All right, here, have a great rest of the Nooner. Hail to the chat. Thank you so much.
See you, Chris.
Bye, Chris.
Later, bye.
Frank Gore, ladies and gentlemen. Frank Gore. Let's get to the super chats, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Sliver for 200 yen says, okay, hear me out. Avengers the Wong Dynasty. Only one variant in the multiverse. Wong's the Song Wong, the song's only verse. He is the dynasty. You fight him. You die nasty. The Wong dynasty.
You fight him, you die nasty.
You dynasty. The Wong dynasty. Taker 610 for $2. DC would be more profitable playing the lottery. True.
Wow.
Andrew Matthews for £5 proper money. Chris, do you know anything about Critical Role and what are they like? He's gone. What little I know is they are part of the woke Hollywood system. That's all I know. Aaron Pipes for $10. It's almost like the studios decided that money was evil and decided to burn it. Nothing that Disney is putting out and that WB is putting out was meant to make money. And if they think it was, well, that's just insane. But they might. And that was that Zeitgeist conversation, is like they are aware of a Zeitgeist and they thought it was a certain Zeitgeist and it wasn't. It's the legacy media Zeitgeist. That's what we'll call it. What they want the world to be, because remember, the media is not there to inform us. It is there to build the narrative. Build the narrative. Jay's gaping butthole for $5. Gonna be out for a while, guys. Rehab for my alcoholism. I'll be back better, though. Not a Biden reference. Love you all. Well, if you are not joking about that, be well. Be well. Be careful. Going cold turkey off that stuff can be really dangerous. Go to detox. Chris Bolts for $5. Question for Chris. Shit. Does MI feel like a self-contained movie, or does it end on a massive cliffhanger like Miles Morales 2? Damn, I should have asked him that. Hey, he's going to do a review, Chris, on his channel. Go check it out later. AT for 100 Norwegian krona. Let's ask Gary to play and stream any of the old Indiana Jones games since Hollywood is on strike and we need entertainment. I would do that. I'm going to get a couple of old game systems so I can play the old games. Be fun.
You should.
Yeah.
People really love your gaming.
It's pretty awful. I don't understand that. You're masochists. 421 Spaceman for $7.99 Australian. Aquaman 2 will sink faster than the Titan sub. Ooh. Too soon? It's never too soon. DCG for $6.99. Hey, Gore. I took your recommendation and saw No Hard Feelings. It was really good. Nice to see comedy again. There you go. He wants me to see it. Rye for $9.99. I think Kathleen Kennedy was never allowed to play with the boys when she was growing up. She's now making everything female-oriented, trying to push a narrative that women are better than men instead of having them work together in an egalitarian style, which would be far more entertaining. But I think she was making coffee and planning stuff, and she has a giant chip on her shoulder and a resentment when she should be just grateful that great men like George Lucas and Steven Spielberg decided to have this talentless hack run along. Oh, she produced some great movies. Yeah, with Frank Marshall, her husband. And maybe she did, but she is the worst studio head that has remained employed of all time. Of all time. Lucasfilm is done after this Indiana Jones debacle. They've got nothing. They're a useless studio. They're not even sewage treatment anymore. They produce sewage. Joe Themig for $5. Bad scripts and woke politics are redundant. The latter guarantees the former. I agree. I agree. I agree. I just made up a word. Agree.
You okay, Gary?
That's agreeing, but with regret. So it's regree.
I agree with everything.
I agree. Stuff Hobbs,
I think.
Hobbs for $50. Hey guys, thank you for what you do. Thank you for supporting us. I really appreciate it. It's nice to know a resistance exists. What's your favorite quote from Phase 4? Mine, you have to do better, Senator. That would have been mine. But I think they have no idea what you went through. after Wanda Maximoff enslaved an entire town of men, women, and children and completely got away with it and was let go by Monica Rambeau, who's going to star in the Marvels. And to watch the Marvels, you need to see Secret Invasion, WandaVision, Miss Marvel, and Captain Marvel. Oh, what I didn't mention, at the beginning of Secret Invasion episode 2, they did a previously on. And you know what the previously on was? Scenes from Captain Marvel. Why didn't you do that before the first episode? I think they realized they needed to do that. And they went, oh shit, nobody knows anything about these characters. So they tagged it on the second episode and not the first. I was laughing my ass off. Because like when we were reviewing it, we're like, God, I watched that movie 6 years ago. And I'm supposed to remember Talos and the daughter and the mom and all this other shit for a movie I absolutely despised. And then to review this, I would have to watch Captain Marvel again. That's why I kind of haven't done it. But like, I don't know, after this, if I can, I don't know if I have time to get it out today, but because I got Indy tomorrow. But it's worth reviewing because the second episode was worse. It is shit. It is utter shit. Love the latest video on superhero fatigue. Thank you, Disco Cobra 2013, and thanks to everyone who watched it. I appreciate it. For $20. I barely even get excited for any upcoming Marvel DC movies. I'm always anticipating they will suck. Only comic book movies I've seen in the past 3 years is Batman and Guardians. And quite frankly, those are two of the better ones. That's arguable with a lot of people, and I respect that. But those are two of the better ones. Gary, I've asked you before, but I'll maybe be able to see the answer. But how the fuck is it difficult for executives on Disney's Hollywood and Disney Hollywood Disney and Hollywood to listen to people like you and Disparu? How hard is it to talk to them? Hail from Brazil. Oh, from Dan Vascalan. Alison Eduardo Cueto for 20 Brazilian pesos. I will talk to anybody. They've just never asked. I can't speak for Disparu. It's probably going to start happening to him if it hasn't already. A lot of us all across the sphere have been hit up in emails saying, I love what you do, but we can't say anything in public. You know, it's like, and my response always is, I appreciate that. Thank you. I'll talk to you here, but you know what would really help? You talking in public. That's what would really help. But some have reached out. Some directors, some showrunners, some production designers, some actors. People have reached out. Still waiting for somebody to go public. One has, Gina Carano. Gina Carano's been very public about this stuff and got lambasted for it. But they live in fear of the political alphabet mafia. That's what they live in fear of. It's not even a Democrat Republican thing anymore, really, because the people who are contacting me aren't Republicans. So it's more of an authoritarianism thing. Hopefully more people will talk about it. I'll continue to talk about it. A couple people have reached out to me to have private conversations about a direction of a thing, I'll say, and I'm happy to do it. And they've offered to buy me lunch, and I just say, I'll buy you lunch. I'll buy you lunch. I'll buy you a sandwich. We'll just talk about it. And we'll see if it happens. Chris Adams TV for £2 X-Ray Girl is definitely a highlight in these live streams. Well, yes. I mean, two grizzly old men.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. Whoa, bro, for $9.99. Gary, if you reboot DC or Marvel with all the characters right now, no strings attached, how would you start? Okay, with Marvel, and I had everything. I start with the Fantastic Four, and with DC, I start with Superman, and I focus on the Fantastic Four, and I focus on Superman, and then we'll see where things go. T1S for $5. Gary, is your son's real name Nerdrotic Jr.? It is. It's on his birth certificate. In my head canon, it is. Also, hi, Frank Gore. It is. Changed his name. And my wife's name is Mrs. Nerdrotic. That's her real name. It's on her driver's license. She loves that name, by the way. What do you guys think of the new Five Nights at Freddy's trailer? Also, Gary should play Friday Night at Freddy's for a stream. I know Five Nights at Freddy's because Nerdrotic Jr. played it and liked it. I thought the trailer was okay. Sci-Fi for Life for $5. I thought it was okay. It's Blumhouse, right? But you guys who play the game religiously, you tell me. Will Amber Heard tank Aquaman 2? Terrible Humans, says Lamine for $27 or 27 Swedish krona. Yes, I think she will absolutely tank that movie. How did Flash do? And I would argue that Amber Heard is less likable than Ezra Miller. I think I can make a pretty good argument. Discordian for $2. Julian Sands confirmed dead. R.I.P. Warlock. Yep. Rest in peace, Julian Sands. He went hiking up at Mount Baldy in the middle of winter. And it was also the worst winter Southern California has seen in, I will say, more than a decade. And as somebody who grew up in California, I have never seen the snow line go down as far as it did. It snowed in Los Angeles, and not just like in the eastern parts in the mountains. It always snows in San Diego and Los Angeles, but it snowed in Los Angeles and San Diego proper. I drove through a blizzard in San Diego. Was not prepared for that. So he went out hiking at a very bad time. Sorry. It's recommended that you don't support crap, but most specifically that you support good content. We can't just boycott. Antipathy. Antipathy. God dang, I had a stroke right there. Live on the internet. Antipathy 17. Yeah, boycotts can work at times, but you're just not going to get everybody on board, and you're not going to win hearts and minds by constantly telling people what to do with their money. People don't like being told what to do. God bless you for it. I would say that what you do is you continue to, well, for one, you need to be informed. So that's why I continue to do what I do, and I sit through Indiana Jones and stuff like that, is because I need to know what I'm talking about. And you know what? You ultimately need to see the movie, because while everybody's hating it so far, there's a chance I could walk in there going, I didn't think it was that bad. So you got to know. I especially when you're covering pop culture, it's very important to know what you're talking about. That's why I tend to, I'll use their phrase, stay in my lane on a lot of stuff. Like, you're not going to see me breaking down video games because I don't know shit about them. So even though I am a gamer. Matt Faxine for 10 Canadian pesos. You say people are reaching out. Are these people the 1%, or are they industry but not very high up? I would say they're industry, but yeah, no, I'm not getting executives. No 1%ers. None. Zero. Golden BMXer for $5. For the new Superman, do you want trunks or no trunks with the costume? It has to have trunks. Eric K for $2. You should have included diapers of Destiny. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, Eric, I have a review. I still got another video coming. I'm going to totally use that now. Davish for $4.99. Aragorn's song on YouTube, Gary. Stop playing me. No. Brightest Day audiobooks and science fiction. What's up, Brightest Day? The J-Law scene is leaked. Not even worth the $2. Ouch. Yeah, it was called The Fappening, or as called it, the Celebrity Jihad. Rye for $1.99. Hail the Fellowship. Thanks, Nerdrotic. Hail the Fellowship. Thank you. Hiddle Subeldies for €5 says Louisiana Jones, the dialysis of destiny. What will get him first? Uremi or the Nazis?
Uremia.
Uremia. What's uremia?
I think it's something in the urine that's probably high in uric acid, maybe?
Uremia.
No, I think it's a buildup of toxins in your blood. There you go.
Joe
That was wrong.
Themig for $5. The movie theater near me is already offering 25% off for Indiana Jones early showings. No way. Oh my God. Screen cap that and put it on Twitter. Put it out there. Gary, would you want the Lazarus Pit present in canon in DCU? Also, the hospital/baby scene in Flash was atrocious. No idea what the fuck they opened with that scene, why they opened them with that scene. Hi, X-Ray Girl. And that's Sliver for 200 yen.
No.
Yes, I would want the Lazarus Pit in. Absolutely. Yes. The proper Ra's al Ghul. I bet Marvel could ruin Deadpool. Chris Adams TV for £2 that is a good bet that they'll ruin Deadpool. Yes, I think that's a very good bet. The fact that they're going ahead when Ryan Reynolds can't improv, if that is true and they actually, I mean, are they going to break the rules? Yes, they're going to break the fucking rules. But I still think that you are hindered creatively. I would not start shooting it. I would just wait. I was saying you got out of the whole Gary. Oh, and yes, Fortnite is multi-platform, including PC. Gotcha. Thank you, Sci-Fi for Life. Thank you for clarifying. Chris B for $5. Anyone else think the last few years of our culture nearly entirely ignoring escapism needs for child/teen boys is going to have a terrible repercussions? Already is. The only good news is kids aren't watching a lot of this shit, but there is a push across all forms of information entertainment to denigrate the male. That is absolutely happening. Okay. That is absolutely happening. But now we're denigrating the female because we're all going to be just non-binary blobs that wear gray suits and sit around tables in a room that is owned by the state. It's your communist utopia right there. Night King 01 for $4.99. According to George, Star Wars was a commentary on the Vietnam War. Yes, the rebels were the Viet Cong, and the prequels, Palpatine was George Bush. LOL. Oh, well, it couldn't. Are you talking about the prequels? I mean, he said that about the Ewoks in Return of the Jedi. I don't know if I would have said that. That's a part you don't say out loud. Yeah, the Ewoks were the Viet Cong. Ewoks in the trees.
They're so cute, though. And murderous, but you know.
Ewoks don't surf. Matthew Hammond on the Streamlabs side for $20. Would it be possible to do the Stargate videos with X-Ray Girl and possibly Bionic Mark? Similar to Razorfist unauthorized DS9 reviews. Get David Reed of the Gate World YouTube channel on for some reviews. He would be a great resource. I'm open to it, but what I'm going to have to do with those reviews is she would have to watch the whole thing with me. And then she'd have to put up with my schedule of, there wouldn't be a schedule, Matthew. It would be just like when I can.
Schedule.
It's basically, these reviews will be when I can do them. So it'll be like, there's a Thursday, I'm in between videos. I just got one done. Boom, I'll do it. You know, that's kind of like how I determine when to do. We're doing a member stream soon. That's how it's like just basically times I'm not working or I'm not like tomorrow.
I was going to say, you usually do those like either Sunday late, Monday, or Thursdays.
Yeah.
So
like tomorrow, I have to get, I have 2 crowns, right? Because I got my teeth like crushed in by a giant fist. And I need those replaced. Well, they're old, so I need them replaced. And I'm doing that before I see Indiana Jones, and I'm looking more forward to that appointment than Indiana Jones.
You're going to be drooling
have
in
time.
the movie theater.
Well, hopefully, yeah, the drooling will be done and the Novocaine will be gone by the time I record my review at night. Or you're just going to get a really interesting review.
I'm cosplaying as Indy.
Yeah. I just saw Indiana Jones. That insufferable bitch wouldn't shut the fuck up for 2.5 hours. Not applicable for $2. People also don't trust the companies making them. No, they don't. And trust is important. And that's why Robert Meyer Burnett says authenticity is the currency of the future. And he means it from corporations too. This business as usual, this goes for politicians too. That's got to change too. Of like, we're going to go out and fucking lie to you. And we all know they are going out and lying to you. And we got one side backing up the lie, even though they know it's a lie. And we got another side calling out the lie, even though they know it is a lie. But then it'll flip for both sides to root for your side, and we're all still fucking lying. So the same thing goes with movies now. It's like, we're gonna come out and say Rings of Power is a hit. They are full of fucking shit, and they know they're full of shit. But they're gonna go out and just fucking lie to us and go, "What are you gonna do about it? We're fucking Amazon." Well, I'll tell you what we're gonna fucking do. We're gonna fucking bury your show. Fuck you for lying to the audience, disrespecting Tolkien, disrespecting the Tolkien fandom, doing that's why I made all those fucking videos, because I don't want to see what happened to the Star Wars fandom happen to the Tolkien fandom. And I thought, well, I might as well make a video. I don't expect to stop it. And, I'm not crazy or anything, but at least I'll speak up about it so we can avoid this. And I would say we mostly did, because the Tolkien fan they did it themselves. They're like, fuck you. Oh, no. Elliot Cecil for $1.99. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is the best show ever. Yeah. Well, I just got Falcon and Winter Soldier vibes from that last Secret Invasion episode. James Bursey for $5. Hey, Gary, when you're done being a judge, can you paste your head onto a Russian general with crazy medals in your thumbnail like Count Dankula? Of course. I mean, I'll try to do it a little different because I don't want to like rip off the master, the genius that is Count Dankula. Fucking legend, that dude. Dude is a legend. Elliot Cecil for $4.99. I'm surprised there hasn't been a Batman show yet. I am too. Consider that they have the perfect blueprint in what it should be. It's called Netflix Daredevil. Exactly. Netflix Daredevil is the best Batman show. It really is. There will never be an equal to next. This is how stupid Marvel is. They canceled that show. They could have kept that show going, but they didn't. They wanted to pull it away from Netflix. So you're going to make a worse version of it 5 years later. That is patently retarded. That whole decision making is killing a show that's popular amongst fans, critics. The people involved in it loved it. The cast was perfect. You had everything going right now. Do you think Blue Beetle will bomb hard too? Asks Elliot Cecil for $1.99. Yes. As bad as Shazam 2. The Black Blur for $5. Gary, since June month is almost over, can you retell the story of you delivering a load to a front door to someone because he asked you to do it? A load? I don't recall that story at all.
Me neither.
Oh, comics. A load of comics. A load of comics. Okay, I was like, it took me a minute to figure out what he was talking about. Yes, I've done that with multiple customers, by the way. I had some big spenders. David Gaines, the gay artist, who just never wanted to leave his house and was on Valium and was drinking beer, cheap beer, and popping Valium all day. And he would call me, and he sounded like this. He's all, Gary, it's David Gaines. I'm ready for my delivery of comic books, please. Could you come over as soon as possible? And I'm like, you bet. Bagged and boarded all his books, gave him a free short box, gave him free bags and boards because he bought over $500 worth of books every week. Damn right I'm delivering that shit. Weekly. Fucking A, I'm delivering that stuff. Damn right.
Oh my goodness. Big spender.
And then the other one, who spent more money per week, asked me to come over. He usually came in, right? But he asked me to come over once, said, damn straight, coming over. And then he showed me his collection of mannequins that were dressed in French lingerie. I'm like, ooh, it's crazy. I know it's the middle of the night, but I got to pick up my kid from school. And I hear my wife calling, and I got to go. Thanks. See you in the store next time? Okay, bye.
Things you don't want to know sometimes.
Yeah, and you walk out backwards. You don't want to turn your back, And like he was fine. He was fine. Just had a little fetish, had a little thing going on, not judging, but self-preservation kicks in. San Francisco's a weird place, okay? Night King 01 for $4.99. Gary, have you ever seen the Justice League episode Hereafter 1 and 2? Best Vandal Savage story in any medium. You are right. Damn, those animated Justice League and Justice League Unlimited were fucking the best. If you want to rebuild your DC, there's your template. You want to make a Batman TV show? Batman animated series is your template. It's there. Just use it. You own the shit, Warner Brothers. This is how fucking dumb these people are. They're so dumb. You know what? You take a fan, any average fan, who like bought comic books maybe once a week or 2 times a month for about 10 years. You buy him some lunch. You buy her some lunch, and they will give you better advice than your team of marketers or your fucking bankers or any of the fucking idiots in Hollywood. But they don't bother. Vinny Ladders for $5. Can't think of nothing clever or interesting. Here's some money. Thank you. That was great, Vinny. I appreciate it. Yeah, that doesn't stop me from live streaming, obviously. Aaron Pipes for $5. You should establish a new channel and once a week stream Boomer Gary Gaming. It would be wildly popular. But if I did it too much, I think you guys would get burned out. But I'll do it some more. I'll definitely do it some more. I got Nerdrotic Live. It will, but I'll do the games on the main channel. That's why I greatly admire people like fucking Eric and Jeremy herding his cats, and Jeremy from the Quartering is going to start streaming on Rumble and still make videos. It's like the reason I don't do that is because I would have to clone myself and there would have to be a 30-hour day. I couldn't do it. There's just too much to do. The videos I make, hey, they're not like, Drinker makes that shit look Drinker just came out with a movie about, like, it was Indiana Jones, but it was about film budgets, right? And he doesn't waste a second or a word in his videos. That is a compact, perfect, like 9 minutes and 15 seconds of just genius. I'll never be that. And that's fine. That's okay. But my shit takes work. It takes a lot of work. And Garrett edited the last video in a night. That's fucking amazing. But it burns you. Then after that, we take a day. We're like, okay, I'm going to take a day. But if there was a 30-hour day and I could clone myself, I would do all kinds of shit. But as far as the gaming is concerned, I think that could be done. We'll find a way. But it's going to be just basically like the reviews for Stargate. It'll just be when we can. And I appreciate that. Like if you guys were having fun at my expense, that all the better. I'll humiliate myself for you guys, no problem. I'll definitely be doing that if I lose that bet to Dan Vask. Does Dave Filoni hit the Cathusi? I don't think he likes the Cathusi. I don't think he plays for that team. Cactus.
He celebrates June?
I think he celebrates June.
Okay.
I could be wrong. Hey there, Gary. Check this out. 5 years from now, Disney faces bankruptcy like Marvel in the 90s. Could we see them licensing comics and movie rights to Star Wars and Marvel Comics as long as they get a small cut? Thoughts? Calvin Jones for $20. I think that is very likely. As far as comic books and books, because the brands are just burnt out. And like comic book publishing is great for an IP farm, but it's just not profitable for them. And I don't think it has been. And I don't think it's even concerning enough for them to get around to. but I eventually see Marvel, DC, comic books being outsourced, yes, and licensed. And why wouldn't you? I mean, they're going to have to come to terms with that. That's what makes you the most money is a license. You become the arms dealer. I think that was some article that I thought that was a good analogy. You know, we'll have by the way, Amazon and Netflix are already running Hollywood and Apple. And if one of those three, we'll just say Apple and Amazon, if one of those three backs out, because Apple and Amazon, Hollywood is not their primary focus. And that's always been a problem with Hollywood runs a certain way, but it's gotten too big and too expensive to have a small studio run. So you need giant corporations like Apple and Amazon with liquid to have vanity projects that drive to their websites to buy their products. But like both of those companies could shut down their studios tomorrow. It wouldn't affect them at all. It'd affect Hollywood. It would affect Hollywood. I Talk Studios for $4.99. Just want to show my appreciation for your work and all you do. Thank you. It doesn't feel like work all the time, but thank you. Even though I'm a baseball channel, oh, there you go. You're a big inspiration of mine, so thank you. I Talk Studios. I will pass that on to my son, my older son, quarter Asian son, who somehow I managed to turn into a giant baseball fan, and I'm so proud of him. He's a Giants fan. He likes Padres too, but he was born in San Francisco, so I won't begrudge him for that. But I will turn him on to your channel because that's all he listens to is baseball. He likes stats and stuff. So, Hames for $4.99. Hail Gary, any interest in a genuine communicator prop from the unfilmed Star Trek Phase 2? Yes. Email me. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Gary at nerdrotic.com.
Gary at nerdrotic.com. Jay's Gaping Butthole for $2. A rehab with a legit place. Okay. Hopefully see you at GRB. Okay. Jay, I wish you all the luck in the world. Get healthy. Get healthy. Rehabs are there to like reset your life and get you on a path. They're not there. I think a lot of people interpret them as a cure. No, they're there to just get it started. Meetings, sponsor, steps, they'll show you all that stuff. But more importantly, stay healthy with the detox and everything. And I wish you all the luck in the world. It gets better. It gets better. Michael Lee for $4.99. Am I the only one who, when I look at Gary, I see a hint of Chris Evans? You might be the only one. Somebody should give you a sobriety test right now. Older, balder Chris Evans, but still, we got a handsome nerd on our side. Well, thank you. My wife agrees with you. Maybe my mom. One of my moms. We'll say. Thank you, though. I appreciate that. Chris Adams TV for £2 The universe has told me to get involved. Good. That it did that for me too. The universe called and I listened. Chris B for $2. DC had it with the DCAU. It was all there. So dumb. The animated universe. Did you get Chris? Do you have that 10-year anniversary box set? It is so fantastic. There's a 10-year anniversary DC animated box set that came out 4 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe even 6 years ago, that they were selling at Best Buy. I still have mine. I watch it all the time. I can recommend, and this was from our boy Yellow Flash. Good man, by the way, Yellow Flash. Good man. Recommended All-Star Superman to me, the animated version, so I went out and got it, and I loved it. Loved it. Oh, we also heard, speaking of Superman, Mark Millar let it slip that he's doing a miniseries for DC with a top-tier artist. And it's out of continuity, just his own thing. I can't fucking wait. I'll be buying that. Absolutely. Everything Mark Millar does right now is kind of gold because he is a comic writer first. Follow Mark Millar on Twitter. He's a good dude. He interacts with people with respect. He's not like telling people they fucking suck. And like he'll chit chat with idiots like me or Az or like he retweeted Chris Gore the other day. So good dude. Good dude. I've always been a fan. I've always been a big fan of his. Alia Wells, and maybe we get him on the show. Maybe we'll get him on Real BBC. Alia Wells for Drinker has an interview with him. So check that out. Our boy Critical Drinker did a great interview with him. Hey, Gary, an Exode girl, just saying hi from one of the female subs. 9.9, ladies and gentlemen. There's the 199, which is Geeks and Gamers. And there's the 9.9, which is all the ladies over here at Nerdrotic. 9.9% female audience. That went up because of Rings of Power. So thank you. Because the ladies, it turns out the ladies like Lord of the Rings. I was told there's no female representation, but that is a huge female fandom. Huge. The ladies used to like Doctor Who, too. As a matter of fact, that was the one fandom that was damn near 50-50. Damn near 50-50 when from the new era. A lot of it came in from the new era, but like when we did our 50th anniversary, and this is, anecdotal, but my Doctor Who comic book subscribers were 50% men, 50% women. I had a giant Doctor Who toy section. There was just as many women buying them as men. We do watch parties. There was sometimes more women there than men. It was a beautiful place. It was a beautiful place. And then they hired the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, and everybody stopped watching, including the women who they were trying to cater to, who already liked the fucking show. WG for $50. WG. Got home early from work, so you get a super chat. Only fair. Wow, thank you. And he gifted 5 Nerdrotic memberships for $25. WG, love you, man. You did not have to do that. WG is a great supporter of many, many channels. And, I was fortunate enough to hang out with him at in Asheville for the Cosmic Summit. I went a place in North Carolina that I wasn't at. And yeah, he believes in what we're doing, and I don't want to out you too much, but he really believes in what we're doing, and I appreciate it, and I believe in what we're doing. That's the important part. And Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, despite all his bloviating, actually believes in what we're doing. I'm just kidding, Jeremy, just a little bit. And Ryan is angry, but he believes in what he's doing. Az likes man tits, but he believes in what we're doing. Okay, so I mean, that's
we're diverse.
We're diverse. But the thing is, it's about like staying out of the interpersonal drama, staying out of other channels' drama or business, quite frankly, and just keeping our eye on the prize and being honest. It's a simple formula, really is. And not being a bunch of, just don't be jealous. It's hard. I used to be envious and jealous when I was younger too. But that was a me problem. I found out that was my problem. Be inspired. Maybe even by people you don't like. If you see some success. I mean, Hassan Piker. I have no idea why people like him. I would never watch him, but the guy built something. He did. Don't know how. Maybe, maybe part of that is figuring out how. It's like, wow, how did that guy get successful? Diano for £5 How about doing short videos for your favorite movies like The Drinker's Extra Shots? That's a good idea. The plan is, and I have been, but the plan is to review more stuff, review more movies. And they will go on Nerdrotic Daily. For example, when the news broke for the Superman casting, that back in the day, that would have been on the main channel. That absolutely been on the main channel. But now I'm curating it, and I put it on Daily because that's what it's for. That's what Daily is for the breaking news stuff and the stuff in the middle of the night. And you notice, I honestly don't know if it's worked. I'd say it's worked out, but you'd have to ask Perry because I run the channel with Perry. half the channel is Perry's. That we release our videos at night. Jeremy's been doing that forever. I remember I was at Comic-Con 2019, and I read an article, a really based article by a woman about why James Bond shouldn't be female. And I was finished with the video, and I'm like, Jeremy, what do you think about releasing a video at 10:30 at night? He's all, do it. Drop it now. And at the time, it was one of the most viewed videos on my channel. So yes, I will do more short videos for reviews and stuff. Absolutely. Oh, Stargate. What is this? Teal'c versus Ronan Dax. Gary? I don't even know what I just said, Chris B. I haven't watched it yet. I watched the movie. I like almost everything Kurt Russell's in, and I didn't like the movie. But I hear the series is way better. And I owe it to Matthew Hammond. I do. He sent me and X-Ray Girl the complete season.
It's a lot of episodes.
It's a lot of episodes, but I think we could certainly watch the first couple, right? And then do something. Yeah. We could bring in old Peg Leg too, if he wants. Elliot Cecil for $1.99. Will MI7 make $1 billion, and could it top Maverick? I don't think it'll top Maverick because of its runtime, but could it make $1 billion? I think worldwide, yes. Films like that do really. I mean, like even No Time to Die, fucking piece of shit James Bond film made a lot of money. It's fucking terrible though, and it's such a waste of a good director too. Cary Fukunaga is a good director. He directed all the episodes of. Oh wow, now I'm blanking on it. A True Detective season 1, which is damn near a perfect season of television. Brockenstein, great name, $4.99. Fun fact, back in college, took a class from a nice lady who allegedly was Filoni's wife. Oh, okay, well, I could be wrong. Told stories about hanging at Skywalker Ranch with George. I've been to Skywalker Ranch with George there. I'll tell that story someday. Proud Saiyan Prince for $4.99. Gary, what are your favorite lifts at the gym? I'm up 10 pounds.
Wow.
One of my favorite lifts since the Vegas meetup. And the next meetup, I'm going to be looking like Amleth from Northman. Oh, there you go. And more mead. Well, I don't drink any mead. I do your basic average bench press. That's it.
That's the only thing that you do?
Well,
at
I
the
curl.
gym?
I do curls too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's basically what I do. I also do push-ups. Well, because I don't go to the best gym in the world, okay?
Do you go to those like the $10 a month gyms?
No, it's not quite that cheap, but it's not super expensive. Because I like the ritual of going to the gym, but if when I want to like really, really work out, I do it at home. But
I like home workouts more.
I like they're easier to blow off. So the whole ritual, this is just for my brain, the whole ritual of getting in the car or even walking, because I can walk to the gym. And I take my kid with me and or both kids, and that makes sure they go to the gym. And then we do the ritual there.
Oh, that's really cute that you go with the fam.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
But like getting on all the machines and stuff is like, forget it. Even on the quiet times, forget it.
Oh, it's busy?
Yeah. So like I'll bench, I'll curl, and if they're busy, I'll just start doing push-ups right there on the floor.
All the gym bros.
Gym bros and thoughts, like they're like they do 2 of these and then they get their cameras out and they're all
I always think it's so funny when you see the and guys or girls, they're like walking around the mirror and looking at themselves, like flexing, and just like, okay, I get it. You got muscles. Calm down.
right. Yeah, and you're not supposed to in our gym. You're not supposed to use your phone, but they do.
Yeah. Well, videotaping, it's kind of like not public, but it is, and I get why people think they can videotape.
If they start doing it and I show up in the background, I start making a face like,
oh, You troll.
Yep. Dave Filoni's dog for $5. Oh God. I can't.
I laugh.
I can testify that Dave likes June. That being said, he's not into human males. Please let me die.
Poor puppy.
Pashas Vats for 100 yen. Am I the only one who thinks that this era of movie stars is fading and the era of YouTube is coming? I feel like YouTubers are more relatable, so more watchable personally. That's going to be the future. And whether it stays on YouTube, Prashat, and thank you for the, I think that's yen. And thank you for watching. I be it whatever streaming, like if Rumble ever takes off or Kick or both or all, I think it would be best if we had 5 or 6 options that were all really sustainable personally. But I absolutely agree with you. My the first place I go is YouTube.
Yeah.
I was like,
and I'd say it's already there.
That was my
because
phone.
There's a lot of like even influencers getting acting gigs just based on their
Yeah.
Instagram.
So that takes away all the gatekeepers, and I'm not a pro. There's people who's been doing this longer, who are more successful. I'm very grateful that you guys provided me this opportunity. This wouldn't happen without you guys. And I'm very much gonna again stay in my lane. Not gonna overhire people. Not gonna have this giant corporation, or that's never gonna happen. I'm not gonna have a manager. None of that shit. My phone's ringing like crazy, and it's a bunch of bullshit numbers. But yeah, like I think that that's the future, and it will be artisanal. It'll be regional. It'll be what you're into. Like the YouTube I watch is all in our sphere. Like I dabble in politics. I watch Benny, right, and I'll check in on Tim Pool once in a while. Not much, but once in a while. But other than that, it's all like people I sub to, people who are on our chats, people who we live stream with, But yeah.
Gary lurks a lot.
I lurk a lot. Like, Sporking. I watch him. I watch Midnight's Edge. Midnight's Edge After Dark. I'm always, Script Doctor. Always watching those people. Elliot Cecil for $1.99. Any chance Doom Part 1 will re-release leading to Part 2? That would be really fucking smart if they did that. I'm pretty sure they'd be colossally dumb if they didn't do special screenings beforehand. Because, yeah, my ass would go in there for 4.5 hours and watch all of it. Absolutely. Raven 1 for $1.99. LOL, I'm in a $10 a month gym right now. Ah, yes. There you go. You know what? $10 a month gym is a fucking gym. Get your ass to the gym. If my old ass can go, your young ass can go. What's your excuse? I went today. I went before the show.
Nice. I walked.
There you go. That's good. Well, dude, if you walk out here right now for like 10 minutes, you'll drop 3 pounds of water weight. Yeah. It's hey, it cooled down today. It's only 100. So.
Oh wow.
It was 105.
Is that
yesterday.
boiling? No, it's not boiling.
No.
For me, it's boiling. No. I keep forgetting Fahrenheit. Celsius.
No.
Anyways.
You might want to not walk on the street if the sun's out, but no, it was 105 yesterday.
Ugh.
Yes. I don't mind it.
And it's like moist too, right? Or
yeah,
no, it's not moist where you are.
It is. Yeah. We're in subtropical.
Oh.
San Antonio's subtropical. But it's not as bad as like Houston or Dallas. Like Houston is soupy. Louisiana was holy shit. I don't know how anybody lives there. I thought, oh my God. I was like, damn, you could swim in the air.
Your sweats.
Where did we stay in Louisiana? I forgot. We stayed overnight in Louisiana. I forgot what part of Louisiana, but it was muggy. Benji Builds for $10. Super chatting because I know my wife is watching in the other room. Hi, Sophia. What's up, Sophia?
Hi.
Thanks for what you do, Gary, aka watching garbage, so I don't have to. Hale would also love a shout out But what's MBD?
No big deal.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's
Benji Builds. Go check out Benji Builds. And hello, Sophia. I appreciate you watching. Thank you. And that's it. That's a lot of super chats. Thanks, everybody. Go watch Chris Gore. He's starting in 20 minutes. I am going to probably sit down and think about doing a video for Secret Invasion and may not do it at all because I got to, it's going to be a busy weekend. And we got to get my teeth did, then go to Indiana Jones, then do a review. I have been asked to be on a show Friday morning at 9 a.m. I haven't committed yet because it depends on how late I'm up doing my review. Garrett's got to edit the review after he does Normal World. So he's going to do Normal World and come home and probably edit all night. Then I'm going to make him be on Friday Night Tights with no sleep. So he'll be punchy and fun.
It's going to be delirious.
He'll be
I love
delirious.
it.
Then Saturday, I have to watch all of The Witcher. Season 3, which will be like hammering my balls over and over again with a hammer.
On your day off.
Then got to start working on a video for that, but we're also going to do a live stream with Carol Lynn and Jane Theory and others for The Witcher. Then we have Forbidden Frontier.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. It's going to be a busy weekend. I love it. It's going to be fucking awesome. So join us. Definitely the next live stream will be Friday Night Tights with Baggage Claim. Very excited about that. She is great. She is so good. Go check out her channel if you haven't heard of her. Well, you probably have, but if you haven't heard of her, Baggage Claim. She's been on Open Bar before, and I'm looking forward to seeing her. I think she's really cool. So, X-Ray Girl, what you got coming up?
I'm going to be playing lots of Final Fantasy on my channel. Tonight, I have Steph, My Nerdy Home on Poor Choices. So if you want to check that out, 9 p.m. Eastern. And then I'll be doing a member stream, 10 a.m. Eastern on Saturday. So if you're a member, watch out for the link then.
Awesome. And I just told you what I was going to be doing. It's lots of stuff.
Yeah.
So this will be unlisted. Then it'll be re-uploaded on Nerdrotic Live. So check us out over there. In the meantime, you all have a really good day. Not all who wander are lost. And may the wings of liberty never lose a feather.
Bye, everyone.